I like your guitars.
I want you to break it down.
No problem.
I want you to go on a day-by-day breakdown of you rebuilding your board and what you did
Oh man.
in order to get this record done.
I would be.
We got 2 hours. Go.
I'd be very happy to do that.
Did you do any documentation? Did you do any video or any photos or anything?
I did lots of photos.
Joe's rig rundown.
Yeah, I did lots of photos, and I did like actual like electrical engineering documentation and like wrote down like the things I changed. But no, I didn't, because the whole fucking project, I was like, oh well, I'll have this thing up and running in a month, and then like a year later, I'm like, probably should have taken some videos.
Yeah, it's shit like that. You always look back and you're like, God damn it. Why did
I do that all the time. I'm really bad too about remembering to take like before and after pictures. I'm always like, ta-da! Ah, shit! I should have taken a before picture.
That was a hell of a journey, though. Tearing that thing apart. When you buy, sell, trade boards, is it custom to include diagrams of what you've done?
Yeah,
Is that like
I mean,
courtesy?
yeah, when you have it, like you should. If you're a good person, you should ship them the whole manual with everything you've done. And so I've got it's not an original manual from the board, but it is a printed version of the manual that with like annotations that the last guy, like all the stuff he had done to it, which I have now like basically negated every single thing that he did. Like I've gone back and redone it, so his notes are no longer valid. But
With the Joe signature.
But yeah, if I ever did sell the board, it would come with a fucking 3-inch binder. Everything.
And then you
Nice.
write on the front, tacky edition.
Yeah.
Tacky edition.
Well, and I've got
There you
what's
go.
cool too is I don't know if you remember, but I've got like in the bathroom of the studio, I've got some actual original schematics from the board
Yeah.
that I framed and have hanging.
Those
up
are
there.
badass.
Well, it's great too. Is when I'm working on that shit, I just pull it off the wall and go set it in the room I'm working. I just set it up like on a little stand or something when I'm working on it, so it's a lot easier to look at.
There were times I would go in the bathroom and be peeing and then just turn around and go, huh. And then be like, oh, it's 5 minutes later. I need to walk out of here. Be like, those are so cool. Just trying to figure it out and go, man. I love electrical schematics. They're cool.
Me too. The ones hanging in the bathroom in particular, I can tell you every stitch of them because I've now I rebuilt the power supply like maybe 2 months ago, and that was everything on that power supply basically got replaced.
Sheesh. Sheesh.
Fun times, and I still have shit to do to it.
I'm always afraid I'm going to electrocute myself.
We got really well. My buddy Mike took a pretty good shock one day working on it, but because we were talking to the guy that I bought it from on the phone, and he was just going like a million miles an hour, like test this, now test that, now test this, and Mike was getting all frazzled and frustrated, and probably doing a little something too, and
Oh, shit.
How much? 110 or?
I was gonna say it was less than an 8-ball, certainly, but yeah, it would have been 110 at 15 amps.
That's enough.
Enough to grab you.
Yeah.
Let's pop this out and then we'll start the show up. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Everything sound good? Ice machine's making ice. It should be
Ooh,
done now.
yeah.
It should be full. In case you need any ice to chew on. For that low iron.
It just kicked on a relay, so it must be done.
Did we show
Yeah.
this link so that people could see it? The YouTube link?
It's on our Facebook.
Yeah.
Did we share it?
I don't think so. If you want to. Okay.
Well, I don't have the.
We need to add Mike as an admin to the both
Yeah, we
pages.
definitely should. I thought you were right.
It's only been a year and a half now.
I think you've earned it.
Yeah.
At least your picture's on it.
That's
Right.
true. Yep.
Let's see here.
Oh my god. Help me remember, Dustin. I need to tell you this story off air.
Okay. Well, write it in show notes like me and Matt always do and then forget about it. That's what we do.
Yeah, I don't think I've talked to you since his mom called me a second time.
Oh. Okay. I sent it.
Shopping for a new guitar?
Yeah, I was checking out the Fort Worth Tone Shop. What they got?
You got down there yet?
Is that Fort Worth
I haven't
Tone
been down
Shop?
there yet.
There is now.
I'm
Nice.
self-employed now. I don't have money to go look at guitars. I can't
That's
even
the
afford
bad
to
thing.
look.
Can't even afford to look.
You start looking around. You're like, God dang it!
It's depressing, man. It's
I
depressing.
want this. I want this. I
Well,
want
and
this.
the
it takes
Especially
me-
the older I get, and I'm like,
fucking
man, I'm never
gear-
gonna get me a fucking that. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Demille.
And then
you
However
got-
you pronounce it.
You got Jay down there being a little devil, going, "You should buy this $9,000 bass. It's no
Right.
big deal. Come on, you should buy it. You should buy this."
The gear market's
You should buy
gotten
this.
so
You should do this.
No, it's
fucking
insane right now.
stupid now too. I mean, it's just like channel strips from an old Neve going for like $50,000.
God.
I was looking at a-
fucking channel.
I was looking at a wall bass the other day.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! I was looking
15 to 20 grand just to get you going,
Fuck.
get you in the door.
I
I was like, oh my God.
There was a dude selling because me and my tech Mike, we always send each other these ridiculous reverb posts, and sometimes I'll send them to the guys too afterwards if it's ridiculous enough. Hey Susie, but there's this dude selling it was a 1970s RAF blue Neve console for like $200,000, which isn't unreasonable for that vintage and that rarity and all that stuff. But I got to reading on his description. There weren't any original input cards. They're all the Heritage Audio reproductions of a 1073 input card. They weren't the actual ones, and he still wanted fucking $200,000 for this thing.
And there's probably somebody that'll come along and be like, oh, I want that, and not read the fine print that it's all reproduction.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, like, is the frame worth that much? Because those Heritage Audio cards are, first of all, they don't sound that good. But second of all, they're like top end, like $700 each. So
Really?
top end.
Wow.
Like maybe their early one. I don't know. I could justify $700. But anyway, but even 700 times 24 doesn't get you anywhere close to $200,000.
Mm-mm.
So, and I want to say, like, even it wasn't even like an original summing section. It was like mostly aftermarket. It seemed like it was just the fucking frame and the faders.
No one lit him up for that?
Well, you can't leave comments on Reverb, which is
Oh, yeah, that's right.
probably a good thing.
That's right, you can't.
It is.
That stinks.
Yeah.
All right, y'all ready to fire this thing up?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Here we go. And here we
I
go.
don't even like podcasts. They make me fall asleep. So
Previously on JJTM.
Hey, have you guys ever watched your dad smash a raccoon's head into a tree?
I don't do podcasts. You know, I like Howard Stern. You know, old Stern. Before he started doing therapy and got all gentrified and shit. Back when it was just a whack pack and butt bongo. Before Bob Booey got those big filthy teeth fixed. You know, but I did try your podcast. Yeah, it's absolute shit. I mean, it sucks.
This episode of the
Jay Jones Last Kicker
is brought to you by
Geist Note.
and
Victor Wrench.
and Plastic Object.
The Jerry Jonestown Massacre contains graphic material, including offensive language, partial nudity, and completely ridiculous thoughts and opinions that shouldn't be expressed or shared by anyone. Listener discretion is advised.
And now coming at you from the Temple of Eye, just on the outskirts of where the West begins.
It's the Jerry Jonestown Massacre!
I can change it out in post.
I've got a wormhole in my brain. It's something that I can't quite explain. I've got a hunger in my soul. It makes me feel like I've no control. I've got a movie in my head. Those nightmare daydreams, that lucid dread. I've got a wasteland in my chest. It's
It is show 565 for Tuesday, March 5th, 2024. Happy Tuesday, Matt.
Happy Tuesday, Dustin.
Happy Election Tuesday, Super
Turn
Tuesday,
it back up so I don't yell talk.
whatever that is. Whatever today is. What is
Super-
it? Primary Election
Super
Day.
Tuesday, is that what it's called?
I don't see a sticker on your body, so you didn't go vote?
No,
Hmm.
no,
You didn't go for the prized I voted sticker?
no.
We need to get some of those printed up.
Let's say fuck you.
Something.
I farted.
I
Yeah.
farted.
I like just
I
fuck
fucked.
you. Yeah, there you go. I fucked.
The American flag and a little circle. Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
copy that. Now that I've got all this merchandise moving and shipping between all these Chinese manufacturers now, I'm sure we can get some stickers whipped up. Do it.
We're probably owned by China now.
I think we are. I
Already.
think we sold our soul. The podcast is now
Yeah,
a
we work for-
property of the CCP,
Yeah.
CCCP,
The OPP.
whatever they are. I forgot what they're called. But happy Tuesday, Matt.
Once happy Tuesday to you again.
And we have a full room tonight.
I have a question. The hat attire. That's weird. Why would you wear that?
Because
It's interesting
It's
that
the only
you
one I
did,
had in
too.
my truck.
And you happen to do it after the
After what?
weekend the weekend that our teams played each other.
They did play each
Who
other.
won that match,
In the
by the way? I
Manchester
didn't
Derby.
catch it.
I think City did.
Yes.
But
I thought you were
United's doing bad right now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's all right. You guys can have this one.
I was like, the audacity of this asshole coming in here and just wearing that hat after my team just wasted him.
I don't see you in any City garb.
No, I'm too fat. All my jerseys and stuff, I have one shirt that still fits. So I need to go re-up.
You know, one thing that screwed me over with this broken rib is getting my summer beach body back.
Yeah. My workout suffered a lot, too, from my knees.
I was going to start doing that 2 weeks ago, and the rib just
You're
fucking
out.
just killed
Yeah.
me. And I'm like,
Out.
ugh,
6 weeks.
I'm out.
At least 6
At
weeks.
least 6 weeks.
Then you
before
can
I
get back on
before
that
I can lift.
PX90 or whatever you're going to attempt to do.
Does that still exist?
Bowflex.
Bowflex, yeah.
Yeah. Does P90X still exist? I thought too
I
many
don't
people
think
died
so.
from it.
You're probably right.
I don't know. Sammy, have you ever done P90X? Yeah.
I don't know what that
He's
is.
like, no, but I've
What was
some,
it?
some other chemicals.
Is
Man,
that Molly? No.
that could go so
no.
many places. That could go so many places.
Well, yes, it is election day, primary election day, and as tradition would have it, we have Mean Motor Scooter in the studio.
Yay.
Happy Tuesday, guys.
Happy Tuesday.
And it's been a while since all of us have been here. Like, except minus Will. But, like, just this group. Like, it's always someone's out, someone's in, or something like that the last few times we've gotten together. So it's cool to have you guys back in here all together.
Oh, thank you.
Glad to be back. Yeah, absolutely.
Did y'all vote?
No.
You didn't get the I fucked sticker?
Unfortunately not.
I think we can still get some of those made before November.
I fucked.
I fucked.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
Hand them out at Division and Growl.
Here's your voting sticker.
People would eat
Yeah.
that up.
They would. Should make shirts of that.
Oh yeah. Now you're talking.
I have a
What do you
whole-
got there?
I have a whole roll of these stickers.
What are
Feel
those?
free to take them down, pass them around as many as you want,
P90X
and
stickers.
stick them on random things at your work
For
or around
rectal
the
use
office or
only.
for rectal use only.
Goodness. Put those on all your prescriptions in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Strangers'
Is
bathroom.
this,
I meant to put
this-
them on all the microphones.
This is what the trade that you've been talking. This international trade with China has been about.
Yeah,
Are these-
we're getting there. We're getting there, but
Are
yeah, they're
novelty
pretty great.
stickers?
Yeah. So if y'all want any,
I'm gonna
here's some.
take a couple.
Well
There you go.
done.
You
For
can
the
have as many
studio.
as you want. Yeah. Put them in weird spots.
Put them on the Narcan and keep them in the fridge.
For rectal use only.
He didn't make it. I don't know.
Just hope you're never the one that needs it, and someone grabs it, and
Yeah.
turns you over.
All right.
Wham!
Hope this works.
I don't know if this will work, but
He's
Hey.
got a bad case of the hemorrhoids now.
technically that is a quick way to the system, right?
Yeah,
I wonder if it would work.
I'm no
Nasal use,
doctor.
but I think it would probably.
that's why
get
it's
your
so
system.
dangerous to boof.
Yeah, I
because
don't
it's
know.
immediately.
Yeah.
Like if you boof
Straight
a
in there.
beer, apparently, or like people have died because they'll like funnel some vodka or something in their anus, thinking it's fun and games, and then
They wear
boom.
their insides out.
They
Yeah.
did that on
Like,
Stern
people,
once.
Yeah.
putting like tampons soaked in vodka up their butts or something like that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Just be a normal
Just
human.
Take a shower.
There's things, okay? Smoke your drugs regularly, drink your drinks regularly, and have normal sex. You don't have to have all this weird tricked up stuff. Really? I mean, I don't need someone electrocuting my nips while I'm having sex with some
I don't
cattle
know, man.
prod.
Some people are into that, dude. You can't be judging, man. Some people like their
People
nips.
have their
I'm
self
sorry.
done.
I don't mean to step on the crowd that loves having their nips shocked.
Yeah, man. There's some nip shockers that probably listen to our show, so watch it, man.
I got a photo to
You've
show
been
you.
very judgy tonight, by the way. Dustin, you've been very judgy tonight. I want you to know this.
Hey, Susie says get on the mics, y'all.
Yeah, y'all can pull this up to your mouth as close as you want.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I need to. I got a photo I'll show all y'all of something that happened here in Fort Worth this past weekend.
Not like your last one that looked like a bunch of watermelon had split all over the driveway.
No.
That was horrible. I don't ever want to see something like that again.
This one is I'll show you after the show because it was sent to me. I was like, oh my god, wow.
I have him now in a policy where he gives me a warning text first, where it's like, this is fucked up. Okay, give me 5 minutes and then send what you're going to send me, because I need to look at it and say, oh, he's about to send something, because he does it this way. Hey, this is messed up. And then bam, sends it. So you're like, oh, golly.
Look, I don't know how quick you look at the wording before I send the picture. I don't know what. Maybe you're showing a house or something, and
Yeah, so
and
give
you don't
me-
have a chance
that's
to look at it. So
that's my
why-
point
bam,
exactly.
bam.
That's my exactly. Just give me a few minutes.
Maybe I should put the invisible ink thing on it. So
Maybe you should
hide
count
the picture.
3, 2, 1, and then give me a countdown or something. Maybe.
And I have no control of the networks. What if the network sends you the picture
True.
before the warning?
I take that. I take that into
It does
account.
happen.
But still, I take it into account. But these are at my house.
Okay. All right. I'll remember that next time I send you a picture of a guy that got ran over by a tank.
Oh my goodness.
It was gnarly
Ron.com
too. It
or
was
something.
so gross.
It happened here, you said?
It
No,
happened.
no, this
no,
was
no, no.
I was like, what the heck's going on?
That happened.
Military training exercise gone wrong.
Big time. Big
in
time.
downtown Fort Worth.
Yeah. Jesus. What are they doing over there in Fort Worth?
Oh man.
That was found inside someone.
Holy fuck!
Oh my.
Wow.
And they had to retrieve it.
Well, yeah.
Goodness gracious, man.
And then definitely take a picture.
Is it any of our friends?
Not that it was inside of.
Whew.
Maybe they had to
Good.
take their
gosh.
finger and dig it out.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oof.
All the way gone where you couldn't see it. So where does that go?
Just in your
Your
cavity.
heart.
Yeah, all
your,
over.
like,
You got to be
small
careful.
intestines or
Gone.
Ugh.
Like a missile.
Somewhere it's not supposed
I
to
don't
be.
think about it.
I don't either.
Terrible.
But there you go. There you go. So,
how bendy was it? I wonder.
Bendy.
You got to get out of the spectacle, man. You're getting warped. You're turning into them.
worse than before?
Yeah, it's like this was a bad idea.
Don't try to talk me out of it so you can take my place
No,
and get access to all these
No.
photos.
I don't like seeing that stuff, man. I don't. Maybe there really hasn't been a time where I've been into that shit. You know, like I remember about 10, 15 years ago where people were sending those cartel videos where the cartel were
Yeah.
torturing
that's
people
weird.
and stuff.
I hated that.
It's like, oh man, dude, I don't want to see that.
Nobody wants to
I
see
used to have
that.
to comb through that kind of shit at my old job, and yeah, it fucked me up.
Yeah.
Do y'all want to see the tank photo?
No,
gosh.
no, I'm good.
Okay. So that came from a group, my work group, who found it because it happened in Ukraine. Like
Yeah.
this guy just fell down in front of the tank and got sucked under. It was a total accident. And one of the guys I work with was like, that happened to me when we were in training out at Pendleton.
Wow.
Same thing. Guy was in a foxhole or whatever, laying down, and tank came over the hill and went right over him. And
Yeah.
And you're talking about something that's like 40 tons, whatever.
So the guy that said that happened to me, he was in the tank.
Hmm?
He was in the tank. He wasn't the guy getting squashed.
No. He didn't run over the guy. It was just a guy that was.
It happened while he was
there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's, I mean, you're not going to bounce back from that. There's no way. That thing's too heavy.
That's why tanks made such a dent in history. Like, once they were invented, it was like every country was like, we got to get one now. They're running over people with they think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just don't like those pictures, man. Videos and stuff.
It was crazy. I thought you would blow this up and put it on your wall. You and the wife would stare at it at night. Like,
have it projected, just
above the bed.
Yeah, have a Cannibal Corpse concert going above us.
See, that's why I thought you would like it, because you're into Cannibal Corpse and you like all that stuff. So.
Yeah, hearing death metal and seeing real pictures, yeah, real death
metal.
Yeah, you got to go to Norway for that, man.
Oh man! Speaking of Cannibal Corpse, it's a long story, but one of my buddies basically had this amp in his garage, and he was like, "Hey, come just take this thing from me, see if you can see what it's worth or whatever." I won't go into the whole thing. Basically, it's one of those Ampeg solid state heads that like is the sound of fucking Cannibal Corpse and 90s death metal. Anyway, I've got it parked at the studio right now. You gotta come by and
fire it up, man.
I have a fucking many times.
Is it fun?
That's fun as shit.
Really?
Yeah, it's loud as fuck.
Dude,
it's gnarly.
I'm trying to start a death metal band. I got the greatest name ever too. Ever.
What is it?
You gonna give it away?
Flooded Morgue.
Flooded Morgue.
Yeah.
But you gotta throw it out of. You gotta write it out of all sticks, so no one can understand what the fuck it looks like, what it is.
I don't. Is that death metal doing that?
I don't know who
that's
it is.
metalcore.
Just metalcore and stuff. Yeah.
So.
And maybe
the difference between death metal and metalcore.
That's a good question, Sammy.
It's little intricacies.
Death metal is really silly. Like death metal makes
like a comic
fun
book.
of death. Like
Yeah.
it's comic book, over the top, flashy.
Yeah.
None of those guys really get it. Like they believe in it. They just sing about
They're not
death.
not
because
the ones playing guitars made out of their uncle's spines and shit.
No.
That's black metal.
Okay, yeah, black metal.
Black metal are the guys that they really worship Satan. They
Yeah.
kill their own
really?
bandmates. They sleep in the dirt.
Yeah,
and
those
they
are
do all
black
that.
I
metal
always thought the
dudes.
Satan worshiping thing was just a joke. Like I didn't think.
Oh
but
man,
I
those
guess-
black
Sure, there's
metal
some out
guys,
there.
they take it for real.
Well,
Like
some of them
just like
think
to stand against the religious.
it kind of is
oppression.
like in Norway and Iceland. That was basically the deal. To be against the religion, the churches there, burn them, whatever. But some of the guys in the bands think they are Satan.
Oh wow!
So then you
Yeah.
have that
You're not
weird
Satan,
thing.
I'm
Nice.
Satan.
Oh, they do, man.
I'm bigger than Satan. And you're
They
like,
have
"Whoa,
they have
okay."
evil offs.
That's
Like
a
they'll
weird
they'll
thing to
match
say.
up and like go to town. Like you pick sides and stuff.
Yeah.
They take their
Wow.
black metal like
I'd watch a
before
whole
shows.
series of like,
Before shows,
those
some of
movies.
them would like spend a few days in a cemetery and then go on stage. That was their shtick.
Yeah,
It's
there
like,
is a guy that before
was a-
every live show,
Yeah.
he would sleep in the dirt and bury himself
Yeah.
in the dirt in the cemetery and just come to the show
Yeah.
with the dirt and everything
There-
and play the show.
There's
Wow.
what's his
commitment.
name?
God,
Gall.
it's so hard to
This
be
one dude.
nonconformist.
This one dude. He freaking actually kidnapped someone and tortured them for like 48 hours
Yeah.
and went to prison at like 7 years or something like that
Yeah,
for it, or did he
yeah.
get off?
There was
He
that.
went for a little bit.
There's
yeah.
that black metal band that the lead singer blew his brains out, and the other band walked in, or the rest of the band
Yeah.
walked in and saw him,
Yeah.
snapped a picture, made it their fucking album cover.
Well,
Yeah.
that, and they also took pieces of his brain and head and put them
That's
in
what I heard
pendants
about.
to wear
was that,
around.
was
and
that
stuff,
Mayhem?
and
Was it Mayhem
I think so.
that did
It was
that?
Mayhem, yeah. I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gnarly over there. Most of the death metal guys that I know, they're all kind of music nerds, honestly. They just
Yeah,
love
they're
playing,
really good.
they
Everyone
love
I've come
playing
across.
extremely technical music and they just enjoy it. And for some reason, death metal and those proggy metals, like death metal's always opened their arms to like Cynic. Cynic's
Yeah.
not really death metal, but the death metal scene loves them. And then because they're from, what was it, Tampa? Or
Yeah, all the bands
Jacksonville?
were from right around Tampa and Jacksonville.
Yeah. So it's like
That's
there's
where death metal was born. Was
Yeah.
Tampa.
Oh really?
Yeah, pretty
I did not
much.
know that.
Yeah, that's where I think 6 Feet Under and
Cannibals from
Cannibal
there,
and
yeah.
Cynic. There's a bunch of other death metal
Something
bands
about
too.
the
That's-
sunshine, I guess, really gets
Yeah.
them.
And the
Beach
swinger
in the
orgies.
sunshine.
Yeah,
Oh, right,
the
yeah.
swinger orgies,
Swinger
and the
orgies.
beautiful
And the
weather.
swinger
And Busch Gardens. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Are you
nothing.
going to Busch Gardens?
I think I am actually.
need
My
to.
hotel is like right across the street from it, so
If you
might
go,
as well.
you need to.
Stop
I need
by.
a roller coaster report on some of the. They have one there that's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
never been to Busch Gardens, so
I haven't been there since a little kid, and
Yeah.
I tried to go this last time I went to Florida. I was like, tried to talk my uncle into it. I was like, it's only an hour away from Orlando. Let's go over there and
yeah,
ride these because they have some of the top roller coasters in the country now.
heck yeah.
And I was like, I want to go over there and let's ride some of these, knock them off our list. And he's like, well, maybe we can. And then everything fell apart. It's like, shit.
Yeah, I'm not like super crazy into roller coasters, but I'll enjoy them. You know what I mean?
Never
Like,
ridden
some
one I
people-
didn't like.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
some people are definitely afraid of them. I'm not like
Yeah.
that. But, you know, I'm not-
And I don't understand that.
I don't either. The bungee thing.
Oh,
I
I
won't do
can't-
that.
I won't
again.
do
I did that
can't do
one
that.
once.
I did that
I
once.
wouldn't do
Never
it again.
again.
I
But-
jumped off a bungee platform and that's one
Fuck
time.
that. But the
That's too
roller
much.
coasters, as long as it's like a real roller coaster, not something they like shipped into town for a week.
Not for the
Yeah,
stockyards.
I'm not doing that. But I'll
Like
do
Joe
a
Dirt.
real roller coaster.
You
wanna
Yeah,
do my
I don't care how
bungee?
what it is. I'll do it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get like flung because the thing didn't strap down right or something.
Yeah,
like
I'm right there
that.
with you.
Like,
Now,
Now
that's-
at Six
nuts.
Flags, I did that Sky Screamer thing they did where they
Right.
put you up like that.
Yeah,
Did that, and that was
never
pretty cool.
again.
I did that. Actually, did it at Royal Gorge, and it was lightning and shit.
Oh wow.
Fucking never again after that.
Never
for
I
sure.
again.
know. I
Yeah,
just
my
kept
daughters
picturing-
were with me, and I was trying to keep my cool.
yeah.
And I was just
Well,
like,
you have
oh
to
my
pull the
gosh.
thing when you get up there.
Yeah.
That's the scariest part of
Yeah.
the whole thing. Not the drop, like, but
The
pulling
anticipation
it
of
and knowing you're
pulling it,
gonna
yeah.
drop after that.
What about
Yeah.
the catapult?
I have never done that.
I haven't either, but I like watching the videos of the people like, "Ah!"
Oh yeah,
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
the dude. Have you seen
Pass
the
out.
the rednecks that do it out in the wood? They'll do it with a 4-wheeler.
Yeah, I've seen them do that.
That's so unstable looking.
That's
or pulling
wild.
someone on a tube,
Yeah,
like across ground, and sling them across a lake.
rednecks.
like, what are y'all
dude,
doing?
Rednecks have always been nuts, but this new technology is like really put them over the edge because they want to video their stuff that they're
They
doing.
shouldn't have been given things that expand like a bungee
Right,
cord or
man.
like.
Yeah.
You knew when giant rubber bands came around, they'd be like, "Watch this, hold my beer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do with this?
Check this shit out, man.
I'm gonna sling you across the lake."
Yeah, that they do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the swings. I'm not
Yeah,
a fan of
I'm with you.
the catapult. I don't think I do.
Does that just go
No,
up and
I-
down, or
well, they shoot you out.
Well,
Oh,
there's
okay.
there's
Yeah,
the
no, I've
the
never
one
ridden that.
like the more like stable catapults are just like on a track, but I've seen like a video on TikTok or something of one of those like fly by night mall parking lot fairs where they have
Yeah,
one of the
fuck that.
catapults and it just like fucking launched the pod. Just it like
Oh my
broke loose from the thing
gosh.
and it just sent it like 100 yards or some shit.
No,
did
there's no-
anyone
You want to get on
live?
that?
I don't remember. I don't remember if they lived or not.
God, yeah, like the one ride people have died on at Six Flags is that it's not scary. It's just you're on a raft and you're belted in.
Yeah, and you
And
can't
it-
get out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you flip over.
Yeah,
You're done.
Yeah.
did we had one death, didn't we, on the Superman? Didn't it
think
kill
so. I
somebody?
There was a
that.
lady fell out of one of the roller
giant.
coasters.
She
Oh, was
fell
it
out of
the
the
giant?
giant, but that was found to be her fault because she was jacking around. She was overweight,
Yeah.
but she also made it to where the belt
wasn't
like just clicked once,
Oh,
and as it was going,
why?
so she could get more air and was playing around with stuff, and it came
Don't do that.
Mm-mm.
with her weight going and
Right,
G-force
just
going
ripped
against it,
open.
broke it, and then flung her out.
Golly.
Which I haven't been on the new giant. I want to go ride the new giant.
I've
been a
heard good
while.
things.
I have to.
I've heard it's awesome.
Love the old one. So
Aren't you
yeah.
going home
Neck
after
massage
something like
after.
that happens if you're at Six Flags?
Oh, that's
You're
that,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Your,
yeah.
your day's
man.
done. You're not like
Well,
Yeah.
when they shut
They're
down
not
the
coming
park
back for
after
a while,
that
though.
anyway.
Well, see, one time I was at Wet and Wild, and we were at the top. What's that? Remember the Wet and Wild had that
the black
spaceship?
hole.
Yeah, this black hole had a spaceship-looking flying saucer at the top, and we had walked our asses almost all the way to the top.
Waited an hour in the sun to get to the top of
Waited,
that thing.
and there was a storm starting to brew that you could tell was probably going to shut things down pretty soon anyway. Well, then all of a sudden we heard all these whistles and stuff going, all this commotion going on below us, and we looked down, and this guy's just kind of stumbling around out of he had just shot out from the slide and was in the pool, and his head was just all gnarly,
Ooh.
bashed up and bloodied and stuff. And me and CJ just kind of looked at each other like, man, let's get down.
Let's take the stairs.
Well, see, and what's bad is I think we've talked about this in the show before.
Surely
is
they would shut it down, right?
the first
I would hope
job
so.
I would think.
I ever had in my life was at Six Flags.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling the story
And-
about the airplanes.
So what's the death policy then?
Well,
Is it
the
someone
thing
dies
is,
or-
I was 16,
What is your death policy?
and I'm in my main ride was the Tower and Shockwave and Spinnaker. So you have me at
Spinnaker was
16 years
awesome.
old.
And a spindle top was awesome.
Spindle Top was awesome too. But then I also got trained to run the Giant, the Train, and Judge Roy Scream. But you have me at 16 years
trained to
old.
run a
Roller
train.
coasters.
You got trained.
Isn't that wild?
Sure did.
There's no way 16-year-olds these days could do that.
They do though. That's what's out there running the rides
Man,
when you
they're
get in
looking
them.
at their phones too much and stuff.
When I was at Disney World, I did that in my head. I was calculating like, how old are all these people and what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, these are all just kids working at Disney.
Yeah.
You know, college kids that are there
Can pay them
all the
less,
time
I
or
guess,
whatever.
so.
Yeah. So you got them there strapping into these rides, and they just come by and just kind of pull on the bar. Okay, yeah, you're good.
You're good.
Yeah,
that
you're
one
good.
was
That's
check,
cool.
check.
You're like, dude, it's not
Alright.
buckled right.
Half the
Whatever.
rides,
Whatever,
Said.
dude.
You'll be fine.
half the rides they
Hang
don't
on
even
tighter.
reach down and grab it for you, or for you. They're like, pull up on that, let me see, and you could just be there going, and it not be down at all.
Well, if he wants to live,
thinks
he
about
would
it for a
follow my
second, he's like,
instructions.
What was the
Yeah.
craziest thing you saw when you were working there, man? Have you ever told
The
us?
nighttime orgies or
Not the nighttime orgies.
okay, the employee
Like-
parties, the parties
The
that
train,
happen?
the trains he got.
Okay,
he got to run.
We can go the sex way if you want.
That
I
was
was
the
I was
crazy-
thinking like death and morbid terror. Like
As
we
a
were talking
16-year-old,
about.
that was the craziest thing. Like, whoa,
Those two people are
Oh my
doing it.
God.
not two people.
They're dog locked.
Speaking of
It's
trains,
a human centipede happening over here.
Oh my
what is happening? It got a
I
little
think that'd
wild
get on
after
the
dark.
news. There's a human centipede spotted
At Six Flags,
Six Flags
in the Music Mill
in
Amphitheater.
Spelunka. Oh yeah. Good gosh, honey. You see this on the news tonight?
Someone was driving the old cars around and came across a human centipede.
Good gosh, man. Yeah, you're driving the old cars with your kid and you look over. Oh my gosh.
The rides, we never saw anything crazy at the rides. Like, but people would get off Spinnaker disoriented and fall down, bust their
Yeah.
head open on something. You know, you'd see that. You'd see people fall down quite a bit, get off and be dizzy from it, or just be their equilibrium off and fall down.
A cousin that worked at Astro World in like the late 80s or whatever, she said they would ride the roller coasters like first thing in the morning without the safety belts
Mhm.
on because the
Really?
inertia, I
What?
mean, they're designed to where you don't need the safety belt, some of
Yeah.
them anyway,
Wow.
because the inertia keeps you in them. Otherwise, it
Still,
would not be as
though.
fine.
Such a
But
leap
yeah,
of faith.
she said that
Mine trained me
they
to
would
do
ride that shit in the mornings, just no safety belts, just
Eating their
Wow.
Chick-fil-A
So that's why they're
breakfast.
so
Yeah.
lax
Just
about
another
it.
morning at the office.
Yeah.
Like, eh,
You know,
cheese will
Shockwave was
keep
built
'em
that
in.
way because it's like 7 Gs when you go through the loops.
yeah.
Ah,
And
yeah,
it's-
that was my
it'll
first
glue
roller
you.
coaster.
Yeah, that was my first roller
into-
coaster too.
Then I was like,
Oh,
hell
no, mine
yeah.
was a flashback, but
I
I
did
did the
that one
Shockwave
after.
right after. Yeah.
Yes, Matt.
I just had the most genius idea ever.
What's that?
We need to start a GoFundMe to get Elon Musk to do a theme park with rides and shit. You imagine how badass they would be?
This would be so weird and on the edge. Like, you would really wonder about the safety of that place.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't
The
ride any of
SpaceX
those rides.
ride.
yeah.
So bad?
Bad
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Okay,
man.
all right,
Yeah,
all right.
sorry.
So they're building.
It's like the shit's all rusty after 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It rained yesterday.
I don't think so, man. I think it would be pretty top. No, I think it'd be Epcot.
If there was, how many of them are there?
Just one,
Well, if there's just one, maybe.
and it's in the great city of Fort Worth.
Oh man.
No,
There
he'd
you
have to
go,
build
man.
it in Austin
Competing
around
with
his
Six
little plant.
Flags?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the F1
Austin would
track
be
down there.
great.
That's where he'd do it down there.
Well,
Well, still,
as
I bet
soon
it'd
as
be
he
pretty
finishes
kick-ass.
his Hyperloop, I'm sure that'll be
Yeah.
nice.
It'd be a great place to
I
test
don't-
out the Hyperloop.
Did he give up fully on that, or is he still trying to push that through? And
I don't know.
because they're doing it in Vegas, kinda, with the tunnels for the Teslas.
Well, that was just the boring
So-
company digging out all those tunnels that only Teslas can use, which next time we go to Vegas,
Oh, yeah.
our Uber is a Tesla.
Yeah,
'Cause I want to go see all these things. They're crazy. Crazy cool. And they put you at the bottom of the casinos and you take the VIP entrance up. You know, like
is
me.
it
Look
only
at me,
for,
I arrived
is,
in a Tesla.
Is it only for
Yeah.
ride shares?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I'd like to rent one and go cruise through there.
I think it's only rideshare Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never taken us like more than a couple minutes to get from any part of Vegas to any other
Oh,
part of
man,
Vegas.
you can get on the
It's
wrong
true.
side. And try, man, remember?
Yeah, there's
the
some
walking
times
we
where
do?
you get kind of angry at your
That's when-
taxi driver taking all these weird ways and everything. You're like, what are you doing?
Matt Thomas tried to give me a foot massage after one night. Yep, because of all the walking.
Oh,
There were other
you get
things
it,
going
or-
on.
And he almost broke my tooth
Yeah, that'll never go
at
away.
the craps table in Old Vegas. Yeah.
Oh, Casino Royale.
Oh,
That's the joint.
tried to take me out.
Cheapest beers on the strip.
Yeah.
Free.
And the coldest.
I thought they were free.
And the coldest.
They're only free. They're free when you're gambling, but if you're just
Yeah, if you go up to
gawking
the-
around,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
That's the
that's all
same
we were
way
doing
it
was
is.
playing craps the whole time. So
Yeah. So
getting
fun.
lit.
Yeah, we weren't confident enough to just jump on a craps table, so we just kind of milled around.
Oh, our first
Bought
night.
some beers.
We were a
was
mess. We got lucky. Cause
Our
we-
first night
the-
was a Thursday night.
Yeah, and some guys
before
helped us.
A UFC weekend,
Yeah.
and the guys at the
We're bored or some shit.
yeah, they were like, "Y'all want to learn how to play craps? We'll show you how to do it and how to do it right."
At Hooters.
Because we just need something to do. It's like okay,
Yeah.
and they taught us how to play craps, and
we
we
played
were like,
all night long.
Played all night long.
Nice.
They
Yeah.
paid us out. They were like, "This is what you want to do. In this situation, you want to do this, and here's the odds on this, and if you do it,
Yeah,
you
they
know?"
explained
and we
the
would
game.
hit
They'd
it
stop it down and stuff and explain us.
because it was
explain
only us at
everything
the
to us.
table.
Yeah.
The place was empty. Almost all of Vegas was empty on that Thursday night because supposedly
Weird.
that's what happens. It's like
And they had a remember the beers they were bringing the big hefty like Big
Giant
Daddy beers
ones,
that
like-
they have at their restaurants and stuff.
Get these
So we
people
were
as
getting
drunk as
lit.
possible.
and so we just kept playing and walked out with a bunch of money. And then the rest of the weekend, we sat down at craps tables
Yeah,
everywhere,
Oh, cool.
playing and
I don't
making
think I've-
money and having
I've-
fun. It
Craps
was
is fun.
great.
Like other than that, I might have done some
trip.
slots, but I didn't play any blackjack. I didn't
play any blackjack.
Yeah,
'cause
all I did was craps after that. It's fun if you got a group of like if you guys were touring in that area or something and y'all
Yeah, we
wanted to go
toured
check
through-
it out, that'd be cool.
We toured through Vegas a couple years ago, and our drummer at the time was like, "Let's go to the Strip," and we were like, "I don't know about all that, man." And then
Yeah.
the other band we played with, they're like, "Hey, do you want to come to this like speakeasy?" We're like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, let's go do that." So we end up following their directions and we get to this house just in the middle of Vegas, but it's like this beautiful 1960s ranch style house, classic car parked in the yard. Go inside, and it's this dude had completely like redone this house to look like the 1960s. Everything.
Nice.
There was
That's
there
badass.
wasn't a
Time machine.
fucking iPhone charger in sight.
No.
Nothing.
Even the
cool.
magazines
Yeah.
were like vintage Playboys from the 60s. Like every
Really?
appliance,
Yeah.
everything in that
I'll,
house.
I'll show you
was
some
from the
pictures
60s.
from it later. It was fucking wild. And then in the back, he had built a little, like, instead of where the garage was, he'd put in like a speakeasy, and they had a casino grade like anti-smoke machine, so you could just
What?
sit there and smoke cigarettes
Dang,
in
man.
there,
It never
and
gets
it,
smoky.
it didn't smell like cigarettes
didn't.
whatsoever. It was
Huh. It was
fucking wild.
wild.
But and it was the drinks were all free, but you had three options. You could get Black Velvet on the rocks, Black Velvet and Diet, and Black Velvet and like RC Cola.
Oh, I only remember the diet because everyone was like, "No sugar, no hangover." And I
Yeah.
was like, "That's fucking genius!" And we got so drunk, I was like, "I definitely have a hangover."
Yeah, that was
Wow.
on my birthday. Actually, we played there.
That's what I love about Vegas is there's all this weird stuff that's hidden. And like even walking down big places on the strip, you turn down this hallway and you turn down this other way
Yeah.
where no one is, and all of a sudden you wind up in some bar that like 10 people are in. You're like, what the fuck? Where am I?
That's-
I thought this was a
uh,
maintenance hallway, and here's
That's
a
another
fucking
city is
hidden
New Orleans
speakeasy.
that does that. Like New Orleans, you'll freaking just stumble
Yeah.
across some
Had
fucking
some-
badass place in the middle of somewhere that you
Yeah.
had no idea was there.
Or you
There's
lose
like a
your
full
kidneys.
party, or you lose your kidneys.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Yeah.
It's a gamble in New Orleans, but
Yeah.
at least Las Vegas,
And Russ Cole comes
everybody's fun. Yeah,
looking for you,
yeah.
your body,
Your body,
your body,
Matt Thomas. Yeah,
your body.
you should always get Matt Thomas to go with you to Vegas, and they were on the anniversary of that. Like the pictures started popping up.
Yeah, I saw.
our Vegas trip, and
Funny ones.
We need to
Very
do
funny.
that again. I want to
Next
go.
time, do you have anything scheduled tour wise yet for the summer or anything?
I think in September we're gonna do a West Coast tour.
Yes, that's
that
correct.
we ought to time it.
September.
We ought to time it up to meet
Yeah,
them
I'd
in
go out there.
Vegas.
Fuck
That'd be
yeah!
badass.
Yeah, with
That would be
Vegas.
so much
We-
fun.
we'll
Does
sch-
that include West Coast? Is
Yeah,
Vegas?
because
Yeah.
we work our way to the West Coast and then work our way up the coast and then kind of over and back down.
I'd do
usually.
it because I want to go back
Yeah.
to Vegas pretty bad.
Me
want
too.
I
a
do
trip.
too. We could schedule an extra day in Vegas if you guys promise you'd meet us there.
I'd be there.
Yeah,
I mean,
let-
that's a cheap, easy flight. It's a cheap, easy stay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cheap,
I'd
easy
be all down.
town.
Well,
It
when
ain't
we
cheap
come
town,
home,
but
we'll
it's an
hit
easy town.
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be expensive either, though. It's like that's the
No.
thing that's cool about Vegas. If you just want to hang out and not do much gambling, just sit there and drink with your buddies, amazing place.
Well, it's like those rooms at Excalibur or whatever. The first 2 nights when we weren't at the Flamingo,
Yeah,
like those rooms were like $49. It's like
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
you're just crashing here,
Yeah.
and
Getting
you know
a
it's
foot
on
massage.
Even make it back
it's on a
home.
Thursday, Friday night, and
yeah.
Thomas had the Flamingo taken care of because of whatever through work or whatever. But that's when the UFC was in town and John Bon Jovi was in
Yeah.
the lobby hanging
yeah?
out. Yeah, he came walking through. Everybody's freaking
Yeah.
out. Oh my God, it's John Bon Jovi! That was his place to stay.
Vegas,
But yeah.
Bubba. What about the East Coast? Where how, y'all go?
We
East
haven't-
Coast.
We have not.
We haven't
yet
done
East
East
Coast.
Coast yet.
At all ever?
No.
I'll meet y'all in New York.
No.
We've done some.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
We can just be y'all's roadies, okay?
Yeah.
This
All right,
the next
let's do
tour
it.
y'all
Get
go
'em.
on, we're going with y'all.
Y'all need to do what like everybody used to do is go grab a Red Roof Inn outside of New York City, outside of Manhattan, either on the Brooklyn side or the New Jersey side. Grab your Red Roof Inn and then just hit like
All the spots we
Yeah.
can.
13 places,
Yeah.
in the
Plenty of
vicinity.
places
in a
to play
2-week
there.
period.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. I think after this West Coast tour, we did talk about doing some East Coast stuff. So
Mhm.
we'll just see what happens.
Dude, this is dope. This is cool.
Right?
Like, that's rad. That's photo shoot heaven too, man.
Oh my! And it's like the
That
room.
is
The room the
cool.
dude slept in is one of those pictures, and it looked like my grandma's
Yeah.
bedroom. Like I mean, it just straight up.
How was it?
Man,
How
that's
long were they open?
awesome.
Like they stayed
it was
up
just
until
the,
it was
it
just
was
all
just
night.
the, it was
all
the
night
dude's
thing?
house.
We were there
Oh,
till
was
at
it?
It
least
was
just like a
4 in
house
the
party?
morning.
literally just the dude's house, but he has a
Fuck.
speakeasy in the back of his
Dude,
house.
that's
The fridge
cool.
was teal. The phone.
Oh, it was
teal.
avocado.
Oh, well,
Avocado.
Avocado.
looked teal to me.
That'd be a cool
Wow.
Airbnb.
Yeah,
Probably.
I don't.
Might be
I wouldn't
now.
be
You
surprised.
get people bitching. There's no iPhone. There's no place for me to charge my phone.
Yeah, true.
There's not a good TV in here for me
Yeah,
to watch the fight.
Smart TV.
Somehow he's got a satellite hooked up to a 1960s CRT TV.
Yeah.
Or he's got a big dish.
Looks like my house. some
I
of
got to go
this.
to Galaxy 5. That's crazy.
Maybe I should go hardcore '60s motif. My house.
Fuck yeah.
Well,
not?
it already
It's
is
already-
a
that's what
Brady
I'm-
Bunch house.
right? It
looks
already
like it should be in
matches
Brady
the
Bunch.
structure. Already has the look.
Yeah.
And
Have
cool.
one room that's fully modern, the rest of it all old school. So if y'all aren't going East
That's
Coast,
cool.
I guess this was one of my talking points with you guys. You guys didn't put in for the Flavor Town Festival, did you?
No.
Did y'all know about
I
this?
don't know what that is.
Is this what's his face? Oh,
This is Guy
Guy
Fieri
Fieri.
was putting together a festival in,
Oh, yeah, that's
Columbus,
the bar.
Ohio,
Oh,
the Flavor Town Fest, where he
I haven't heard of it.
it was going to be music and cooks, all his chefs and stuff come in and make food and stuff and have all these. It was going to be a
Sounds
mixture of
cool.
cooking and music, but it got canceled unfortunately because of low ticket
I was
sales.
gonna say we might have to rethink our plans here.
Headliners are going to be
sales.
Greta Van Fleet and Kane Brown, Brett Michaels, Low Cash, and Nico Moon.
Oh damn!
I only
Pretty
know.
big names there.
I don't know who Low Cash and Nico Moon is.
Me neither.
I don't know. So yeah, I was gonna see if y'all had signed up for that or not, and
I didn't even know it was a thing.
got your
Maybe that
guarantee
was
before
part
they
of the
canceled it.
problem. Maybe they didn't do enough promotion. I don't know.
Well, it's canceled now. But
What happened? What was that
I mean,
site you used to
before.
could go on and book festivals you could bid to be on festivals.
Sonic Bids.
Sonic Bids. Is that still around?
Yeah, I still get emails from them, but we haven't used that shit in forever. That was such a fucking scam.
Oh, it's a total scam. A genius marketing ploy and money making scheme, but for whoever put it together. But if you're a band, it's like, I got a bid to be on.
Pay to play.
Yeah,
Right,
Shithole
yeah.
Fest, whatever, and that is the game when you start getting around there, when you start playing festivals and stuff. But you got a bid to get on to make sure you get your guarantee to get it back or whatever. But it still kind of sucks. Like
Big time.
And they sounded like scams, and like when they, hey, you want to be on stage with Mastodon?
Well, bid here starting at $2,500.
We like your style, and I was once eaten.
Mm-hmm.
Moonfire, like first name is I was once eaten Moonfire.
You're like, huh? That's not
Like,
the name of our
alright.
band.
That's weird.
You guys really don't know. What was the other site that it was like the encyclopedia of bands? You can go find them by local.
They had that metal one.
Oh, I
And
know what
you-
you're talking about. I
there
can't
were
remember what it's called. though.
Tracks you could listen to by the bands. that put
Bandcamp?
up.
Oh,
It wasn't
Reverb
Bandcamp.
Nation?
Reverb Nation.
Oh, yeah.
Then they started
yeah.
doing the same thing.
Reverb
Yeah.
Nation.
You guys, we could get you on a big show at Broncos.
Sir, that
Yeah,
place
if you
has been
run
closed since the
Reverb Nation,
90s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You would definitely get some pay
I-
to play offers.
Yeah.
We still
we've
have
been
an
done-
active Reverb Nation page.
Do we really?
Yeah.
Well,
We were done with I was once eaten for like over 5 years one time, and I got an email from something like that, like, I was once eaten. Would you like the opportunity to play before Slayer or some dumb shit like that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, well, we haven't been in a band.
High on
in-
Fire's coming to town. Would you like to open for them up at
Yeah.
in Denton? And it's like, well, we haven't played a show in 8 years. We've been doing a podcast though, so we can come up there. All right, so y'all got a big release coming up
Yeah.
Yep.
Friday.
Daydreamer.
this Friday.
This
Is that when it
Friday.
reaches all streaming platforms and
Yep.
Yep.
all that? And then the release show is on Saturday, the first one.
Yeah. It's Saturday at the Boiled Owl. And then the 15th of March at Three Links. And the 29th of March at Rubber Gloves up in Denton.
Inside or outside at Rubber Gloves?
Oh, I don't know.
I think we're gonna be outside.
Nice.
Pretty sure.
Nice. Be sure to halt for the trains when they come by.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember that show we played up there when the train came
Yeah.
by? Just sat there and waved at
Yeah.
That was funny. That was
Yeah.
that was the first time I'd been back up there with the outdoor stage when
Yeah.
and
that's
forgot
the first time I've
trains
been
were
back.
right there. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah. That was good fun time there. All right, so this is full length, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
13 tracks.
Yeah.
Been cooking for how long?
About a year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
That's
we
some
I think we started tracking the first bit. Well, yeah, we figured it out the other day. It was like
Exactly a year ago.
February we started tracking.
I'd like to personally thank you so much for doing an LP.
Yeah, no
Seriously,
no
man.
problem.
That's
We
so
had you in mind.
It's
when
so
we were doing
refreshing.
it.
So
You are
refreshing to
welcome.
have a band come say they're doing a full length album. Like that's
Yeah.
awesome.
We were due. You know, we dropped a whole bunch of
It'd been-
singles and stuff,
yeah.
and two
Two
EPs that were
EPs.
technically like the same record. They should have been an LP.
They were supposed to be a full length, but we split it up.
What was the thinking behind that? Did y'all do that on purpose?
I don't remember. I was
Yeah.
thinking back about that. I don't remember why we decided
we were
to do
working
it that
with
way.
Dirty Water, and I approached them with the idea, but didn't take into account the fact that it would cost double for the same release. Essentially, I was like, "Yeah, it's great for us," but it's like, "Yeah, no, they're not gonna want to do that." So
I think in my mind, I was like, oh, we'll put them out separately so we can get them out faster, which didn't matter because they were done at the same time.
well, about a year apart.
Well, they got released, maybe a year apart, but they were in the can at the same time. We recorded everything at the same time. But yeah, I think our thinking was to try to crank them out, and then we would Dirty Water would just put them out together as an LP, but then
Yeah,
Dirty
that was
Water
the idea.
folded.
When did they fold?
Right around the
They got-
pandemic, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that what did it put the nail in the coffin?
Yeah, it was either that or that they believed us when we said that we should have full gatefold vinyl with a full color insert and a Coke bottle green vinyl, and we bankrupted them.
So y'all are to blame.
We might be.
Yeah, it might be, but I think it was more just the fact that they were all moving on to alternative tentacles, and so they were like, well, we don't really,
Does Jello still control alternative tentacles?
Like 100%. Yeah,
He does?
Yeah.
He's on tour right now with Ministry, is what I'm hearing. Because he's on the new record that came out on Friday.
Oh, no shit.
And he's been doing shows with them. So I was
Nice.
like, that's pretty sweet.
Is he doing, what is it, Guantanamo Bay something or another?
I don't know what all he's doing. I just saw that he was at the first few shows playing.
But like the band he's playing with?
No, he's just doing stuff with Ministry from what I know. Because it's
Oh,
Ministry,
okay.
Gary Newman, and Frontline Assembly is the
okay.
lineup. And they're supposed to be here in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, he's with them. And I was like, that's pretty badass.
Yeah,
Him doing
That
stuff.
is cool.
That is cool.
Hanging in there and doing crap. So full length this Saturday,
Yep.
the 9th.
That's the plan.
I'm
It'll
excited.
Be, like the second it hits midnight, it should be on Spotify and all that stuff.
I'm excited y'all are doing a full length because I was like, it's about time.
Yeah, I wanted to do something that was all the songs fit together in a long piece, not just like one at a time. And I don't know, just the whole vibe of the record. It was like, just wanted to put a bunch of songs out that all went together as one large piece.
Now, didn't I show up when y'all were tracking some of this?
I think so.
And
I think
shot
in the
some
very
photos?
beginning,
Yeah,
yeah.
So that has been a year.
I think when I was
Yeah.
tracking drums, you came.
Yeah.
When we 1st started tracking.
That has been a year.
Mhm.
Damn.
Yeah, already.
Wow.
All right. Time flies.
Time does
It
fly.
really does.
We started getting our mixes back, and I looked back, and it's been like 3 years since we recorded all that stuff.
Holy God.
Wow.
I'm like, good Lord. Now, there's reason behind that, which we won't delve off into just yet, but it's just weird. Time's flying.
Hey, I did a pass
Every
on that
year.
one.
You did? Yeah. It's just weird. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I heard yours, man. I liked it.
I thought it turned out pretty cool.
It
Yeah.
was. It's
I
pretty
would
good.
have.
It was really good.
I would have had a ball with the whole thing.
What was the thing I said? Oh, it was the guitar. I love their guitar work they do, the
Mhm.
dueling guitars, and I felt like I could hear it a lot cleaner and like kind of out there on your recording.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, I liked it.
There might be more down the road.
Hit me up.
Yeah.
You know where to find me.
We got a bunch
Spectacle's
more.
a
We're
big
getting
time
ready
band,
for
dude. They
recording.
gotta demo like 6 studios. Okay, so
Well, I'm a big
We'll
time
add you-
producer. I gotta audition.
Joe,
my
Joe,
guys.
Joe, we'll put you in line. Okay.
You'll either go, I'll
and
do this,
and
or
I'll put you in my line.
this is crap, and I'll just take your money.
So basically, nothing would get done for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Because none of us have people to talk to each other's people.
Well, I was actually beginning to worry that was the case over there, which we'll talk later on down the road. But I was like, man, maybe this shit was so crappy that you're just like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know.
No,
what to do.
that's definitely not the case.
Delete.
Yeah, delete.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, so where are you guys at with that? Is he
It's-
done with the mixes?
we've got him on. We got to go sit down with him and fix a couple things, but then it's
Nice.
done.
Fucking cool.
Send to master. And be
Sounds
done.
good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Really
it's pretty
good.
cool. Finally, after, like I said, I was looking at it's 4 years, and then I came across those pictures the other day,
Oh, yeah.
and that hit me. I was like, oh yeah, y'all were tracking drums way back then, and
Yeah.
that's been a year.
Yeah.
Time
We
is
took our
flying.
time with this record too, because when we did Hindu Flying Machine, it was like we've tracked the main parts, we're moving on. So when we did this one, if something wasn't like the right time, or if we need to slow it down, or whatever changes we need to make, we really took our time with it, make sure. But I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We re-recorded a couple songs, just like
Mhm.
fucking the whole cloth,
Yeah, at
just
least
from
2.
just start over. It's not working.
Y'all gonna have any new merch?
Yeah, we got a
T-shirts
new
and stuff?
shirt with the new logo.
You still have those available?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah. We
Y'all
got
still
plenty.
got some? Okay.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Because I know y'all were doing pre-orders like online. I saw
Yeah,
on
we've
Facebook.
sold. I think the sizes are down to like small, medium, large, but
And extra large.
we do have extra large. Okay,
Yeah,
you
we
do?
have an
Okay.
extra large.
I need to get a 2XL, man.
Those are
just
out.
sold out of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get you a small, cut it out.
I don't think
and
I've
then
ever
glue it
had a
to
Main
another
Motor Scooter
There you
t-shirt.
go, safety
I don't think
training.
I've ever had one of their shirts.
Really?
I've had a
Well,
couple.
I'm gonna have to jack one
Come
from
get your
y'all.
first, yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a couple. I think I still do. They're in. I took all my old shirts, like y'all's early shirts and stuff, and like some of the Henry the Archer ones, some of the. I think I have some confounded shirts and whatever.
Burned
But
them?
I have them all, and I burned them.
We burned them.
And I cursed them and put a hex on them. No, I want to make a quilt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
A T-shirt
Yeah,
quilt
cool.
with all the
That's
designs
an
and
awesome
stuff. So, trying to figure out how to do that. I keep talking to my sisters because they're all into this crafty sewing stuff. I'm like, can y'all make me a T-shirt quilt with all these shirts and
That'd
stuff?
be
And
awesome.
That's neat.
That would
I'm
be
waiting to
cool.
see. So then I'll have something to cuddle up with at night. When
Now,
I'm,
now
of
I'm gonna
course.
get onto them. When I see them, I'm like, hey, when's this quilt coming out? I'd
T-shirt
like to get
quilt.
one too.
yeah,
Start putting the pressure on both of them next time I see them.
I got a bunch of them.
The
you
Bon
know?
Jovi concert.
Yeah, when you take my mom to Bon Jovi again,
Yeah.
which never happened. Which
Has anyone asked you, hey, did Matt really go to Bon Jovi with your mom?
I don't think anybody ever has because they know you're full of shit. So I don't.
Now I kind of want to.
You can take her next time.
All right. I
If
just
he
got to be
ever
able to
sings
afford the
again.
tickets.
He can't sing anymore. Like last time he came through, didn't he cancel the show because he couldn't sing?
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Wore his vocals out? Or?
Yeah, he can't reach his high notes anymore. And
Oh, man.
Been doing it for
Starting
like
to-
40 years
yeah,
plus. So.
at least
I feel like
40 years.
I only got a
right?
few more years
Yeah.
left on my
Y'all should do a
vocal
Mean
cords.
Motor Scooter Bon Jovi album.
We'll hit 'em up.
I feel like the people would enjoy that.
Just cover Bon Jovi for
But Mean
rock
Motor-
assembly.
Mean Motor
Yeah.
Scooter style.
Shit.
Yeah.
That'd be
It
kind of
would
cool.
be a lot. It would be really trashed out, but
It'd be
probably pull
cool.
it off.
Well,
That'd be cool.
you know the talk box, which
Yeah.
you have to have if you're going to do Living on a Prayer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Heil just died
Really?
yesterday, day before.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. The guy that
Yikes.
invented the
What-
talk box.
I've got
is
a-
old age. I mean, he was old, but
Yeah, geez, I was gonna say I've got a Heil mixer from like the early '70s or
Do you
something.
have any mics? Any Heil mics?
No, I don't know what to do with that fucking mixer though. It I think the preamps are kind of cool on it, but I don't know. I need to like pull it and look at it and see if there's anything worth salvaging on it. But the mixer itself is kind of whatever. It's like an old '70s PA mixer basically, but
Well, if anybody's out there and wants to grab it and fix it up,
yeah, sure. Fucking hit me up.
hit you up.
Sell it cheap.
I was gonna ask y'all something with and get y'all's opinion because the last few weeks we've been talking a lot about the crap that's going on in Fort Worth with all the bars.
Yeah, it's sad.
I went to that State of the Union meeting last week.
Right? Yeah, I saw your post about that.
The Fort Worth thing is really good. It was cool, you know. A lot of good ideas, a lot of good talking. You know, it's one of those things that it amps everybody up, but then
Yeah.
you hope that keeps going, and people are just like, all right, I'm amped up, ready to go, and then like
Yeah.
back into the same
Next
old, same
weekend,
old. You
it's
know,
something
yeah.
else comes out, something else happens.
Yeah. But what do y'all think about like? I've noticed this lately, and there's been a few comments on social media and stuff about everybody sobering up as of late, not drinking
I
alcohol.
didn't know that was a thing. I mean, I myself am sobering up, but I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah. Well,
You're part of the
there's a
problem.
lot of people that talk about it. The Matt over here sobering up.
Yeah,
I'll probably do it one day.
months.
Oh,
That's
cool.
great.
I don't really.
Yeah.
Alcohol's never
California
really been
sober
my
though,
thing,
right?
so
Yeah.
I don't consider that an issue. But
Yeah.
other things.
So a lot of people that are posting, you know, it is alcohol, and they're talking about, you know, they don't go to bars anymore to drink or anything.
Oh, it's specifically alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So, you know, there's a ton of people doing this, and we're having this issue with the bars staying open because they can't take money. But there's also this new surge of these Delta 8 drinks and CBD
Well,
drinks and stuff.
We have one.
So it's not sobering up so much. It's just not drinking alcohol.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a
Well,
good point,
California
actually.
sober is what they call it, right?
Yeah.
I heard that the
Yeah.
other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually been smoking a lot less weed too, but my tolerance is just gone now. I can't even take a hit without being like too stoned. It's weird.
What
but-
sucks is
And we have, and there's a line in one of our songs where you say "smoke 3 joints in the morning."
I did. I would. That
Yeah.
was a fact. I would wake up every morning, smoke 3 joints, and I was not high.
That
I was
is-
like, I need to take a tolerance break. So
That's
I
the one
did.
thing that I need to start working on too, because since I've heavily relied on the dank to quitting alcohol.
Oh, okay.
So
It does help.
It does
your
help.
Stomach can't
Right.
handle the alcohol like
Right.
before.
But but I've gotten to that point too now with weed. I'm like, dude, you gotta fucking like start cutting it back a little bit, because you're like the amount of ounces. I was like, what
Oh,
you
yeah.
what I
You
used
can
to buy
catch
for
up
like a
real
month.
quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't take long before you're like, I cannot get high.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much. I could eat a 100 milligram edible,
Mhm.
and I might take like an hour nap, but I'm not
Yeah.
high. I'm just a little sleepy. So I don't know. I was like, I need a tolerance break.
So have any of y'all had these? Any
I
of yours?
have.
Not that
And
one specifically.
They're great.
They are.
Well, I had the one with real THC in it.
This
It
is
wa-
Delta
You can
8.
buy it from the store here in town. It was somebody told me about it. They're like, go here, you can buy these drinks, and it was
It's the THC seltzer
like
water.
10%.
Yeah.
Had 5% CBD, so it kind of balances you out. But I felt a buzz.
You did?
Yeah.
Now, was it where would you put the buzz? Is it a weed high
Nowhere
buzz
strong.
or a
No.
drunk buzz?
Neither. It was
Neither?
kind of just I felt mellowed out.
Oh, really?
It wasn't like I couldn't drive or
Yeah.
anything. Like I just was like, oh yeah, I feel it.
At
My mood
Crosses,
is
that's
boosted.
how Crosses was with me. I was when the one that I had, I was kind of the same thing. It was like you just get chill. It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I forgot
talking-
they had them
you're-
for sale there, didn't they?
yeah, that's what Susie bought me.
At House of Blues. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah.
I think that one was just CBD though. I don't think there was much. There might have been that in it, but
Delta 8.
I don't think there was any THC in it.
Delta
But it
8's
was
pretty close.
it was cool.
I mean, I personally haven't been able to tell a difference. I've heard of people saying that they get panicky.
I can
or too
feel
high.
the difference in the high, but I haven't gotten like panicky.
I've on Delta 8 like made my body go numb,
Really?
but my head is still clear. Like I can think,
That
I
sounds
can
like-
function,
sounds
I
like
can
it
do everything.
sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, I can't.
Yeah, that sounds like
my
CBD.
Feeling is
That yeah, it
really
sounds like
weird. Yeah.
heavy CBD.
Yeah, it sounds like.
But I guess they make Delta 8 by toying with the CBD to
Yeah.
make it psychoactive, so that makes
John
sense.
Trucker John tried to freaking explain it to me the other day after one of their shows, and I was just like,
It's
I could,
like
man, that's
molecularly, it's
confusing.
like an open or closed ring.
Right,
And like
yeah.
they just open the ring. And I don't know what that means.
See,
but-
I understand. I understand
I'm not
that way more than what he was
I'm
telling
just breaking
me. I
it
was
down
like,
to
man, I
like
don't-
the bare minimum of understanding. But yeah, no, it's like molecularly they just said it's the difference between an open or closed ring. And I don't know what that means, but it's a very easy change of
Yeah.
like spray this chemical on or add this.
Well, they
and
used
it
to do
opens it
that.
up.
They used to do that a lot in like with workout stuff, like pre-workouts and stuff. They would change one little molecule sometimes from almost completely the same ingredients that are in meth.
Oh, sure.
And they would just tweak one little one little thing that and then they would get busted.
Now it's Ritalin. Now it's this. Now it's that.
And
yeah.
then they'd get busted, and then like sure enough, like 2 months later, here comes the new and improved formula, and
yeah,
they
and
just
that
kept
gets
doing
more
that.
and more dangerous as it progresses. The more they
That's like the-
outlaw whatever, and then it's like, oh, now it's this, and it's like, and you are gonna hallucinate and never sleep.
Like
Well,
mini
that's-
thins.
It's like
You
that-
are now comatose.
Yeah, or
It's like that
dead.
K2 and Spice stuff.
Oh yeah, that was
yeah.
crazy.
JWH 018 was actually really similar to THC. It was almost like it was so similar. But then the second they outlawed that and about a 10 or 20 other chemicals, it started getting into
Yeah.
some real dangerous territory.
Right.
And see, that's what I don't like about. I don't like all this chemical bullshit going. And that's
Yeah.
why I was never a designer drug type person, because
Sure.
I don't like all this chemical bullshit that's in there.
Yeah,
Give me
you
something
keep it
that
as simple as possible.
Right.
Give me something that grows in the dirt, or
It's
you
a
know,
nitrous
some
oxide,
fungus
man.
that grows on the
Nitrous oxide is actually not bad for you. Like
No,
they
it's
use it in the
it's a
dentist's
simple
office.
it's a simple one molecule chemical.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not people. I don't know. It's not like huffing. You know, a lot of people get that confused, but it's totally safe.
But yeah, it's the simplest
Wonder how
mind
many
altering chemical you
freaking
can
dentists just
put in you.
gas themselves all the time.
Oh,
Just
I
fucking-
don't think they got
Or-
to be in dentists.
You can 3D print you a pod and lay in it
Yep.
and
Just
set
be-
off the
Oh,
nitrous.
that's-
Just be laughing
that's
all the
best
time.
sleep ever.
Yeah.
Laugh
It's-
laugh
it
yourself
lasts
to the
forever.
grave.
No insomnia tonight.
Yeah. Goodbye, cruel world.
It's the longest dream I ever had.
Yeah, I just there's been talk. I've seen it here and there on the Facebooks and stuff about this maybe being the future. You go to a bar now and there's a whole spread of these, and I don't know. Just get to the point, Texas, where I mean we're on an election
I'd like
night
to have
here.
the choice though, like,
Right.
I can
Let us
do
smoke at
what
the
I
bar
want at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I had a bad day and I don't want to take a risk of getting too high or something. Or
Well,
Yeah.
that's one of the things I like. What Tyler's done at Cicada. You know, there's tea there if you want tea,
oh yeah,
and no one else has ever offered tea to drink.
that's
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't even
cool.
know they were doing that. That's
So
cool.
you can get tea if you want it.
Like
you know?
hot,
So
like
you got
hot tea, like
hot or cold.
Sure.
So you know, if you're not in the mood to drink, you just want something to chill out, but you know,
That would have been great. So many nights that I can think of
Mm.
that
Yeah.
when it wasn't available. So yeah, I'm all for
yeah,
it.
if more places did stuff like that, and you know, hell, like I said, you can charge me
Sure.
the same price as a drink for
$4 or $5.
some,
however much it
some tea
costs
you're
now,
making or whatever.
yeah.
I'm totally good with that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, if that's something I want, I don't want to feel like I have to have, you know, which you don't have to. No one's holding a gun to your head, but you know what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
I like having a drink in my hand and carrying it
Sure,
around.
well,
And I'm not a
yeah.
fan of water.
It's part of
It
the
gets boring.
whole- I mean, I don't know. You feel out of place when everyone around you has a drink in their hand.
Yeah.
And you're not drinking that night.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to be able to have an option, and it'd be nice to loosen up a little bit, and maybe, you know,
And I
if
don't
you
need a
wanna
ton
go
of
to
caffeine,
space, but
sugar.
you want, you don't want to be up all night.
Yeah. Just
That's great.
give me some
Options are great.
Yeah, that's what I think. The bars will be all right. They just need to start pivoting.
Mm.
and
Like,
changing.
that's the
Well,
thing
that's the
is-
other thing
is-
is like Gen Z, whatever, millennial stuff, they aren't drinking alcohol.
Mhm.
So you got to give them
There's-
something, but they
because
smoke
weed's legal
weed.
now,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I personally, I've heard of plenty of people who like to mix weed and alcohol, but I've never been that person. Like, if I'm drinking, I'm drinking. If I'm smoking weed, I'm smoking weed. I can't. If I mix the two, I get dizzy and sick, and it's I don't
Yeah.
want to do that.
Yeah, they're not fun to mix.
They're
yeah.
not
G-
for me.
I think when I had to go to DWI class like 10 years ago, and they said that that's the most lethal combination is that, like, as far as fatalities go with auto accidents is
With
weed
auto,
and
the
yeah,
most
weed
common,
and alcohol.
and-
It's-
yeah. I could see
totally
that.
see
They
it.
said that they have the most fatalities in their accidents.
You got to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
If you were to do both, do you drink first and then smoke, or do you smoke and then
If
drink?
you're gonna drink first, it better be just one drink, and you wait like an hour.
Yeah,
and then
otherwise-
smoke a little bit. of
Otherwise,
weed.
be
Less
high
than a
and
bowl.
start drinking.
Yeah.
But if you go the other way, that's the spins, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Big time.
I used
Sure.
to do that all the time.
Oh, me too.
That's-
I
that was
still
my
do,
thing.
if I'm
Yeah,
being
it sucks.
honest.
Especially in the summer. Remember that time that I like right after I started dating and getting serious with Mandy, I freaking like passed out. You were leaving, and I yacked and passed out in the side yard and had to crawl back.
That
Like
was
was out
after
there
a
like
crazy
3
night, wasn't it?
hours and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just like the heat, the
Yeah,
weed,
the
and
heat
the
will-
alcohol just. I was
Yeah.
like, and I
It's-
was
And
like,
it's beer. It's not like we weren't drinking whiskey or
can't-
vodka. It was drinking just beer.
yeah,
Getting weighed down and that.
yeah.
But like most of your
Full
cannabinoid
belly.
receptors are in your stomach. So I feel like if you're smoking a lot, your stomach is just weaker. Like it
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
handle even a beer. Like I remember being 17, 18, and all my friends would drink a beer and they'd be like, "Yeah, have a beer, have a beer." And like, fuck, fine. I try to drink it and immediately foam, just spewing up foam. Like, "Oh, what the hell's wrong with you?" I'm like, I smoke too much weed.
Yeah.
I can't drink. Okay.
I have a smoking problem. Okay.
Yeah. What's like? Oh, ha ha ha! Same
Another
thing. Watch your
one,
pants.
man.
It's the same one too.
Is
It
it
is.
same brewery?
Should've
Huh?
known,
Same brewery.
man.
Fuck.
Told you.
We're gonna have to talk about.
Yeah.
They want to come in. We're gonna have to talk to Division about their.
Oh,
Every
Wade.
time we open one of your
Wade,
beers,
Wade,
it
get your
You got a
spills
shit
QC.
Wade. We got to talk to you about your
QC.
QC. Do you need to go change your pants? It's the same spot.
Mine was covered. I was.
His might be dry by now. If y'all wear the same size,
They're
you could just
not.
throw in his.
But I think it's interesting. I think there does need to be a little bit of a twist, and all this talk
Yeah.
about
And now
how
ketamine
to
is
do things.
becoming more. Like,
You think they
open
should start
for-
serving ketamine at the bar?
I don't know about that, but
I think therapists are using it
I'm
locally
just saying,
already.
like, yeah, it's a lot more common now. Like, there was this huge taboo on anything that wasn't alcohol, and even today, like, a lot of people who, especially old timers, like, they're drinkers. They do not consider that a drug. Alcohol is definitely a drug. It's a
one of the
legal
worst.
drug.
It's one of the worst ones
It
too
is.
for
It
humans.
And it's
definitely
a
is,
hard
yeah.
drug. And people
Yeah.
have this idea in their mind that drugs are this and this is that. Everything needs to be just regulated. Like,
I've done most of the drugs, and every bad decision I've ever made in my life has been on alcohol.
So wait,
exactly.
what is it? E-Bombs World? Is that your journals that
Yeah.
you just write about everything? No, you know how many times I've had a lot of beer and stood up on top of a roof and said I'm a golden god and all this crap. It wasn't drugs that led me there; it was beer.
Right.
It had me climbing on the edge. It does. You
Divorce,
start thinking,
man,
what?
Like divorces and stuff. Alcohol, man.
And I
If you
think
think
that's
about
what
all
this-
the marriages that'd be okay if there was if alcohol didn't exist.
Violence?
Point.
Exactly.
Less
I mean,
violence.
I know a lot of people that smoke weed that aren't violent.
Most of them.
Most of them. But
Yeah.
you get a bunch of, college kids drinking beer, and the next thing you know, they get shot on West 7th.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Right.
I mean, I think that's what the newer generations are waking up to is the fact that alcohol is the same as any other drug. As so long as, I mean, the only issue is this fucking fentanyl bullshit. and
Yeah.
this what's going to be in my drugs. And now you're
Mhm.
testing your drugs and you got to make sure that it doesn't have this or that. If it was regulated, this wouldn't be an issue.
yeah.
So we're sitting here putting people in jail for I don't know how many years over stupid shit. It
Yeah.
wouldn't even be a thing if we regulated these drugs. I mean, you would take so much money out of these cartels' pockets, out of crime in general would drop. And we've seen it happen in Oregon. We've seen it happen in these other states that have regulated drugs.
Honestly, it might be the only way out of this whole
It
thing, this whole
is.
mess
The
of
war on-
addiction in
wars
our country.
end. It's not a war on drugs. Like,
Right.
it has to end by regulating it.
And we
Yeah.
live in a state that is so worried about money.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
as
why they
far
want
as-
to keep it illegal.
Yeah, well,
You make more money off of it when it's
But
illegal.
shit, we would
But
make so much more money.
our
off the
politicians want to
Yeah,
be
we
rich
would
as
as a
crazy,
society.
but yeah, tax the shit out of it. They're
There
gonna
you go.
Taxes. Was it
Look how much
Colorado's
money
funded
Colorado
yeah,
gets.
They
Yeah.
funded their school system for the next 20 years.
They make
Exactly.
so much money that their entire government was paid off. Like
Yeah, they're like,
within
oh,
2
shit,
years,
this
they
is a
could
great
pay off
idea.
everything. Roads
done this
improved, the
years
school
ago.
systems. Like they're
Yeah.
just like we're
Was it
making
for the
so much
religious
money. We
right?
don't have to worry about budget cuts or things being tight or fucking
Yeah.
education bills going down
Exactly.
and teachers
wanna
getting
get
paid or
high.
not. Yeah, here.
They're gonna get high no matter what. Doesn't matter what the law is.
Yeah,
Might as
They're
well
gonna
protect
take
people.
the drugs.
just
So
tax and do it. I mean, I don't.
practice teaching harm reduction and the facts, not the
Yeah.
scare tactic of, oh, well, if you touch fentanyl, you're gonna fucking die. It's like that's not true. Just tell them the truth. Fentanyl's incredibly
I know a
too
guy.
strong.
That it was on a gas pump handle and it touched his skin.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
shit I'm talking about. Then you have
Imagine
cops that are
Those
passing
cops,
out
those
from
cops that
panic
freak out.
attacks.
Yeah.
Because
That's
they
what it is.
think
Panic.
That's
yeah.
what it is, and they think they're, oh my god, I'm overdosing. No, bro, you're having a fucking panic attack.
And what crazy is what overdoses them is the shot
Yeah, the
or
Narcan
the
shot.
Narcan.
Yep.
That's what sends them over the
because
top.
they never
because they
had
didn't
an
need
opiate
it.
overdose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
now you've just elevated their
so-
heart into
it's
heart
almost
attack
like
range.
You can't believe that this is where we're at. But
Yeah.
it is, and it's
Yeah.
just like
Crazy.
It's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny because I've always been the guy that said there's no way America will ever legalize drugs. But when you put it that way, honestly, and you look at the direction everything's going and how mentally ill the United States is right now, seriously, that might be the only way to unravel it will be to
I
legalize it
honestly
and
believe that it is.
regulate it.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, do you legalize everything,
Mm.
or do you still keep?
How about the majors?
like?
Jesus Christ, just legalize pot and that'll solve most of your problems.
One step at a time, right?
And I
Pod mushrooms, I can see because the country's
Absolutely.
really
Those
dropping
are
their
the safest drugs you
defenses.
can take.
When you have what's his name on Good Morning America, Bucktooth Strahan, just going off for like 10 minutes about the greatness of mushrooms and how they're helping people and
They're
all this
safe.
and blah blah blah.
You can't
And
overdose
how
on
he's
mushrooms.
taking no. and how it's helped him battle depression and everything. When you have him on Good Morning America, which is the most watched morning show with all these housefrau's and old people and stuff, that, that's a sign that
For
we're
sure.
getting
Yeah,
close to
yeah.
something happening.
There's an awakening happening, and people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a matter of time until people that just don't want to go there are gone, and people that know what's going on start making the rules.
And then the bomb goes off. It's legalized, the bomb goes off, and we're done.
I don't know. I mean, like
The
when you
asteroid
talk about
hits.
really hard stuff, I think that yes, it does need to be regulated, and they should be given a chance to go into treatment programs. Like this person has a heroin addiction or a cocaine addiction, they give them the proper drugs without it being laced with whatever, a place to do it, and be like, look, you can go to this place and get some help. You can whatever here. This is what it's doing to your body. This is what it's doing to your brain. And they can get help.
It was really weird.
Instead
Like
of
when
going to
they,
jail.
I remember being young, maybe in high school, maybe junior high, but when they started just giving needles out for free.
Yeah, to prevent the spread of HIV and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I was like, man, that's really weird.
It
That's
seemed weird.
really
It's-
strange.
and I
But
get
now
it.
it's smart and genius. The only thing I hate is running across them when I'm walking around town and
Sure,
stuff.
sure.
God, they're so creepy.
Well,
that
I mean,
creeps me out.
When
so
we went
much.
to San Francisco, like
Oh,
we're
yeah, that was
walking from our
rough.
hotel room to a really nice restaurant, nice part of town, and I mean, you're looking at people nodding off on the street, shooting up right in front of you, and I thought about it, and I was like, well, what do we do here? We hide it, sweep it under the rug. They're doing the same fucking thing. They're just not doing it where we can see it.
Yeah.
So what's the real problem? We should be looking at this because that's not going to make anyone want to use. That's going to make them go, oh yeah, no, that's bad.
Yeah.
And also it makes you go, well, I feel bad for them, and I think they should get some help. Like, don't put them in jail where they're just going to meet more drug connects. It's like college for criminals.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the bad thing is you go to jail, then you get in this weird endless loop
Yeah.
of you can't
These
escape
people-
that thing. You can't get your feet back on under you, so you turn to dark things.
Yeah.
And
Because
doing
it's how you know how to
shitty
cope
stuff.
with things.
Yeah. You either start, doing drugs again, or you start selling and dealing drugs.
Mhm.
You get busted again. You go back to jail, and it's just
It's
an
just a
endless
vicious cycle,
because
and
you're just
that
stuck.
creates money for the economy, and then we have these
Yeah.
privatized jails, and you have these people trying to capitalize on it, and that's bullshit. Like,
But
fuck
just a couple months ago, I heard a podcast. I don't remember if it was This American Life or Radio Lab or something, but they were talking about it's like basically a hotline. It's something to the effect of like never use alone. And so like if you're home by yourself and you need to boot up, you just call this number, and just a care provider on the other end of the phone is like, okay, you got your Narcan? Yeah, I got my Narcan. Okay, what's
They
your
just sit on the phone and listen.
Yeah, and so they're like, okay, what's your address? Like
It's
they
like a
get all
safe space
Yeah, they
for-
get all this information ahead of time. They get your address, and then like they make sure that you attach your Narcan somewhere to your body, and then you fucking boot up on the phone with this person. And they're like, okay, you good, and as long as you're responding, they're fine. And the minute you stop responding,
they dispatch.
They call fucking 911, and
That's
they
really
they
smart.
send somebody over there. It saved a shit ton of
I
lives.
bet it did.
Yeah,
and I
it
bet
still,
a lot
it
of those
still is
people
currently.
who experienced that got clean or tried to.
And some of that was the thing in the podcast. Some of the people that were clients of the phone number became counselors, like on the phone.
That is so
once
common.
they
So
got
I
clean.
have no
That's
idea how
kinda
common
cool.
that is.
I think it'd be smart to have rooms or places where you could go and do it and be
Yeah.
under some supervision. And I know a lot of people. I don't know.
I think that's
They've
that's
had
what they're
those
trying to
for
do, or
a
they're
little
they're
while.
in Canada.
In Oregon and Canada.
And
Yeah.
kill yourself in Canada. Canada's up to some weird shit.
I think they're more open.
Yeah, just don't confuse the suicide booth with the shooting up booth.
Yeah.
They
So
look
I get in
completely
this thing and I
different.
seal it up and I shoot up and
Dude, you know what's crazy? You
Knocked
know how
over
many
that
people would
canister.
probably sign up for that? Just to be in a cocoon and fucking shot up all the time, like almost like the Matrix. I bet you people would sign up for that.
Oh, jeez.
Isn't that crazy?
That's weird. Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's a lot darker than than we realize. Like actually being in that position.
Yeah.
You're getting high, you're falling asleep, but like your life is living fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like you're going through some real shit.
Well, and if you've been doing it for a while, you have to do it just to function or
Yeah.
just to not lose your
Opiate
mind.
sickness is no joke.
No.
Yeah.
It's
So-
terrible.
Remember when I did the morphine trick when I was working at that marketing company and I had like
one weird trick to change your life.
What the dude gave me 100 regular
Internet people
morphines
hate
and
him for this
like
one
50 50 of the slow release morphine pills.
Oh wow.
Dude, and it was funny because I was like I didn't really think about it, and then I was like, oh, dude, you're gonna run out in the next couple of weeks. You might want to see how bad the withdrawal's gonna be. Oh my gosh,
It's gonna be
dude!
bad.
It was
You gotta
one.
wean
It was.
off of it.
I did it in 2 weeks, and for the 4 weeks after the two,
Yeah.
the second week, 4 weeks after that, I didn't have a solid stool. Like
Yeah.
I didn't have a solid stool. I felt like I had the flu. I was
Times
miserable.
100 and
I was
depression and
right.
that
Yeah,
coupled with it.
it's like
yeah.
all your endorphins just went out the window and have gone to Australia. That's what it
Yeah.
feels like.
Well, all your receptors and your nerve endings are
Right.
completely different. It's just like you're fucked for
Yeah.
at least 4 weeks.
And I was physically sick for over 3 weeks. I remember. I was like, I'm never doing it again. I'm never doing it again. Fucking opiates. They're a bitch, man.
Opiate withdrawal is
Fucking
no
terrible.
fucking joke.
I'm addicted right now with what they gave me for
Oh,
my
the
rib.
tramadol.
Tramadol? Yeah. Well, that
Tramadol's
says
so
high
terrible.
serotonin. Like
Yeah.
I hate that stuff.
It makes me feel like a crackhead.
It
Like, because I have to
just
take
hate-
like 9 of them. And I'm like,
I instantly go to sleep and then wake up and it's like I just in a foghead, and I hate fucking foghead, man. It makes me
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Makes me so crazy.
I
'Cause I'm just like
remember
I just
last
want to be
time-
able to think straight.
Last time I went, last cruise I went on, I nabbed a bunch of fucking tramadol and Xanax and Somas. And
Somas are old school.
the Z-Packs, the antibiotics, they had those too.
Well, you were just a pharmacy of good time.
Fucking pharmacopoeia.
Yeah.
Well, they let you do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. They do. They do.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to say thank you to our partners in the South.
and that may be why
Gracias.
that's the only
Gracias.
that's the only thing that why things may not be legal here is because of that.
It's because of the connections and business that's going on between the government and cartels.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
That, with us being a border
And see,
state,
that's
could be an
why I hit
issue.
what he's saying. I think would be is going to be the right move, because how do you unplug that? You cut the rope by legalizing it and
But the people making the laws and the people that
they're
are
tied
pushing the
in.
money to pass those
Yep.
laws, they're all profiting from
Yep.
this, from the prisons, from the whole situation.
Exactly. It's part of the. It's like the military industrial complex, except it's with law and drugs.
Hmm.
So,
It's been going on a long time. Too long.
what do you guys think of these videos that are coming out? Who was it that who released the video? It was the dude that just interviewed Tucker Carlson, the one that just interviewed Putin.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the freaking how the subways and stuff, how they're way cleaner.
First of fucking all, I lived in Moscow for
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah,
We have
Yeah.
a connect here.
The
Yeah.
subways
That's kind of why I brought it up.
smell like piss.
That's all subways though.
All
all
sub-
over the all
That's
over the
true.
world. Every
That's
subway
true.
I've been
Every
in
Yeah,
smells like
subway I've
piss.
been
like
to smell like
they
piss.
obviously they took fucking mouth breather Tucker to like the newest line with the newest trains and made sure he got on the newest train.
Like opened yesterday.
Yeah, because I've ridden the
Right.
subway like all over Moscow, and fuck that it's fine. It's a great and efficient system. Not knocking the system,
Which
but
is the point.
it
yeah.
smells like fucking piss. I'm sorry, it's absolutely
And
smells
Fallout.
Like piss.
There are a bunch of stations in Moscow that a bunch of photographers have shot in or done like
Yeah.
landscape photography stuff have gone in that are absolutely gorgeous
Oh,
and
yeah.
badass.
So,
Some of the way
I wonder.
they're done.
I mean,
Some
yeah,
cool
it's,
stuff.
no. I mean, even like the
Yeah.
old ones from like the 30s are beautiful. Like the work that they did is just absolutely fucking remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, it just like even like the station that I got on like the train every single day at. I would just like remark at how beautiful it was. It's like awesome feats of architecture.
I've always
but
wanted
it's still
to go.
public transit, man. It smells like fucking piss.
I've
Well, and he
always
had
wanted to go
never
there,
been
but,
there.
St. Petersburg and see those badass old school fucking
That's where I want to go. St. Petersburg.
those cool that architecture there. That's all like
All the
looks
onion domes and
yeah,
stuff like the
yeah.
Spas na
That's
Kravi.
that's St. Petersburg, right?
They both all over Russia. They have
Well,
all
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Well, so what's crazy too is you actually cannot take pictures down there, so they had to get permission to do those.
Yeah, that's what a
Oh,
lot of
really?
the
It's
photographers
gorgeous.
have done, and that's why they're
Wow.
empty
yeah,
because they go in there at hours when no one's there
yeah.
and shoot this
Gotta
stuff.
watch out, man.
Yeah, no, there. I mean, it's the subway system there is amazing. The other thing with his fucking trip there, he was like, "Oh, we bought all these groceries, bought a week's worth of groceries for like $100 or whatever,"
That's
and
the
then
modern ones, the way they look.
yeah. And then you come to find
Star
out
Wars.
that the average
Oh,
alright. Income for a Russian is like $200 a week.
Oh,
So
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no.
yeah, so yeah,
low
it's,
minimum wage.
That's the thing, though. People that people believe that stuff. They don't do their own research, and
No.
there's a bunch of idiots that will fucking be like, "Man, Russia's really the place to live." I think,
Well,
man, I'm gonna look up some jobs.
He had
there."
never been
It
there.
depends.
He never really, from what he said in a different interview, was never really researched how life was over there. He knew how politics was, but not how life was.
For the
and he
common
was-
guy.
Yeah, and he was
Wonder if
led
went to any
around
bars.
everywhere.
You think he went to some bars?
Probably not. They let him around everywhere, and he wasn't there that long.
he had
Yeah.
handlers for every
Yeah.
fucking second he was there.
And there was no time for bar visits. For
No,
to
there
those
and there
guys.
was nothing. There was nothing that wasn't curated. There's
Yeah.
How is that reporting?
It's not. He's
It's
not a
not.
journalist. He's a
That's the
fucking
same thing.
twat.
It's almost the same thing as when journalists will go to North Korea. You're like, okay, this is you can tell immediately. This is all cookie
Yeah.
cutter set up, pre.
Well, just the
determined
fact
shit that
they
they're
won't let
doing.
anyone on the internet. They won't let anyone outside the world because if they knew what was really going on, they wouldn't stand for it. They
Yeah.
would revolt
They'd
against their
revolt,
own
yeah.
people. So
What's crazy is my mother-in-law went to, or ex-mother-in-law now, went to Vietnam,
yeah,
and she was telling stories of the same thing. Like, in Vietnam, they still think they won, which I guess technically they did. I mean,
Yeah.
no one really
yeah,
won
no,
Vietnam.
they did.
I think they did.
But they have no idea of the outside world and how primitive it still is. And you show up with stuff, and the way they look at you,
think it's
like
magic.
you're a time traveler that just
Yeah.
showed up with,
I mean,
you know,
can you
a crazy
imagine? Like, imagine
iPhone and
finding
watch
this
and
100
stuff.
years ago. You wouldn't know what the fuck to do with it.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
Yeah.
this weird little glass box thing.
She just she talked about all these places and how weird it was that they're so shut off,
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
and yeah,
And I mean, I feel like still, even here in this country, there's still so much information we don't have access
I think,
to.
yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
Sammy's about to go off on UFOs.
We could
UFOs
do-
are real. Okay, just want to say that.
we can do an entire show
Yeah.
about that.
I
'cause
tell you
we're
what,
right up the alley.
I'll
with
just
it,
I'll
too.
just
It's like-
send you my TikTok inbox, and those are
I
all.
wasn't specifically thinking UFOs, but yes, it
You're
probably
always
would have gone
thinking
there.
specifically UFOs.
UAPs. Yeah,
Dude, you
no.
got to go on some of these camping trips with us, man.
Yeah,
'Cause
I've
we
seen
freaking
a
dude.
couple,
Oh
and
my gosh.
I've seen I've seen UFOs at least 3 times now.
Yeah.
Like,
Where
it's
at?
nuts. Once we were camping and I saw a light do a U-turn, and comets don't do U-turns.
No.
nor
neither do
satellites,
meteors,
nor
neither do
planes.
yeah, not
So
like that.
I knew that was an unidentified aerial phenomenon of some kind.
Yeah.
And I got a video. It's on my
No, you sent
Instagram
me one
of
video.
a Tic Tac.
Yeah,
Did
that
you ever
little,
figure out what that was?
No, but a month later, they shot down the balloons and then the anomalous object that they still won't tell us what it was. So I think it might be related to that.
Because you
I
sent
don't
me that
know.
video. I was like, what the fuck is
yeah,
that? I'm
and
sitting there
everyone's
watching,
like, it's a plane. I'm like, where are the fucking wings?
Yeah,
it's
that
a
was
fucking
not a
Tic Tac.
plane.
I
That
thought it was
is
like a Mylar
weird.
balloon. That was the
It was
last
too
thing I
big
thought.
to be that.
Well,
And
yeah, I couldn't tell the scale from the video
the
you
picture
sent.
of the Chinese balloons that we popped or whatever.
Those things were
spheres.
Yeah.
Well, and the
was-
Chinese balloons were the size of 4 school buses.
Yeah, they were
This
huge.
thing
Well,
was definitely the size of about 4 school
the
buses.
thing
but
underneath it, the balloon was way bigger than that.
Right, yeah.
The payload object
yeah,
was 4 school buses. The balloon was gigantic. That what you
this
sent,
doesn't make any
Do-
sense.
I have no
Neither-
idea what it was.
And
honestly-
it also was zipping back and
Yeah, the
forth.
way
You
it was
can't
moving
tell 'cause the
around.
way I'm holding the camera. But afterwards, I turned the camera off. It fucking zipped off, like gone, like a half a second.
That was very weird.
And I was super
Very
pissed
strange.
that I didn't keep it rolling long enough. And I'm like, did it know I was recording it? Like, how the fuck did that happen? Like, the second I turned it off, it was gone.
What did
And
you
that-
think of the Vegas footage?
The Vegas, remind me what?
Was the cops that showed up and
and
their cameras
not
got
Miami.
Oh, you talking about
Vegas.
Miami or
No,
Vegas?
this was
No,
Vegas.
this is
This was
Vegas.
before Miami.
Before Miami.
It cooked
Yeah.
something in
Was there
these people's
triangular
backyard.
shit? Oh,
Yeah,
you're
there
talking
was-
about the backyard thing.
Right,
Yeah.
and the cops showed up and one of their
I
cameras
saw
caught the
I
caught
saw
the craft.
the cops footage, and I saw the green light, and I've been really like studying up on all UFO issues and
Yeah.
all sightings and all that stuff, and the green light that looks like a meteor hitting the ground is not uncommon
Yeah.
with UFO sightings.
Okay. Keep going.
So
Because whatever
What's
I see,
the-
you
and
guys,
now what's that?
that happened during that thunderstorm in Florida.
Oh yeah. That was
That-
wild.
when the lights
yeah,
light
that
up and you see the
light.
big triangle.
Right.
No,
No,
there's no triangle.
You might be talking about the same one because it's an angular. It's just a single. Looks like a laser going.
Oh,
like
the
that.
green laser.
The green laser.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah,
couldn't tell if that was coming from
that-
the ground or coming from the sky.
They keep replaying it, but it's slowed down. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's coming from the sky.
it's coming. From
I
the
did
sky.
see this footage. The green lights are not uncommon. Apparently, the red lights are what you got to be worried about.
Why the red light?
Oh, yeah,
Why the
what's
red
going on
lights?
with the red lights?
Something about red and what it
Ruh-roh.
means, like the colors have a significance as to like because
Like
apparently
friendly or foe.
yeah, like all UAPs are built depending on their tasks. Apparently,
What do they
like
explain
if they
that
they
away
can
as?
fit the tools
No.
that they're using, if they're mining
They're just like,
something
"Man,
or
we don't know,
whatever it
fuck 'em."
is,
It's a
because we've
thunderstorm.
recovered these craft as you may know from the
Mhm.
congressional hearings that have been
Wow,
happening.
that's not a thunderstorm.
We have this stuff, and there are people, whistleblowers,
So do the
and things
Russians
that have come
too.
forward.
Speaking of Russia,
China, Russia,
yeah, all the
us,
major.
we all have recovered
powers have 'em,
craft,
yeah.
and they're seamless. They have they look like they're. It doesn't make sense how they're built. It's like a
Like
3D
fly-
printer built it or something.
Like
Yeah.
Flight of the Navigator. That's what I keep like referring it to. Like how that ship was just there was no seams, no nothing on it.
Yeah,
in
and
the old
even
cartoon.
the only thing that like Bob Lazar, for example, could understand how it worked was the gravity manipulators below. They could fold like a trash can, like the material was super thin, so like when it bent a certain way, it could fold in. But that's the only thing he really understood from it, and they worked on it for I don't know how long.
how much stock do you put in all his what he
And Bob
his,
Lazar, I think
yeah.
he's telling the truth. I really do.
So
everything
Especially
I've heard
after
from
the
him,
Grush hearings.
everything I've heard from him has always been exactly the same.
Never changes.
It's
his
never
story.
changed, and he's pretty open and forward with it because if you ask him something, he'll just be like, "I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know."
And even
he
stuff
won't.
like what he saw in documents or what he saw for a split second in the corner of his eye, he's like, "Listen, I don't know what I saw. It was 20 years ago, and it was for a split second. It could have been a dummy. It could have been this. Could have been
Yeah.
that." And yeah, I read that they were from Zeta Reticuli, but they put misinformation in these things so that if the information gets out, they can go, "Oh, we know
Yeah.
where that came from." So no one knows.
So, question. I want to go back to something you said. The green light and the red light. As far as hostile and in it, I guess friendly.
Yeah.
Is that your theory, or is that something
No,
is that
that's
a
something
known
I
theory?
heard. That's-
Because I've
I-
never heard that.
That's something I heard listening to a lot of these UAP podcasts or like these reporters like George Knapp or Jeremy Corbell. They talk about red meaning like hostile.
So
and-
we know enough about these. There's been enough sightings
Oh,
around the
dude,
world to know
dude.
that red is hostile and green is friendly.
Better
Yeah.
watch out.
There are people who
I believe
analyze
it.
footage for the government as
Mhm.
their job is to just analyze the stuff that we've captured from drones or airplanes or whatever, and they can tell you, oh, this is this is that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And they have what they call a cool folder, and some of the things in this cool folder like are just so beyond understanding, like a cube inside of a sphere that registers as cold on the thermal camera.
Mhm.
Like just weird shit that's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is that? Or the jellyfish UAP that came out.
Yeah.
You know, that was
That was
tracked
crazy
in
looking.
2017 over
Yeah.
Iraq. Like,
Looked like Predator, man.
and they can't
Did.
see it with the naked eye. They sent
Yeah.
guys out there at night with night vision goggles, couldn't see it.
Was
And
was
everybody's
the
like, "It's a balloon." It's
It was
like,
going
you
hot to
can't
cold, hot
see
to
it.
cold, hot
So
to
how does a
cold on the
balloon go
thermal
hot to
camera.
cold?
Crazy balloon.
And it
Rush.
went, and they have another video that hasn't been released where it
This-
goes into the water, and then pops back out again. It
And I
zips
know
off.
every.
This is all that you're talking about. The squid. The
Talking
squid.
about the same footage. Yeah,
So is that the same footage that we had the vertical shot of that came out, leaked out about 2 years ago of it just cruising across a battlefield? But now we're seeing
yeah, there's 2 videos of it.
There's one
So it's
across
the
the
same in-
battlefield, and there's
Or
another
the
one where it's
3
going
were-
across
2 are released.
a base.
Right.
And it's like everybody's like, well, it's a Mylar balloon like everything else. I'm like, you know, when you're in the middle of a desert,
That's funny.
and you're at a forward operating base that's right outside the cusp of war. A lot of people release Mylar balloons around that area.
Not to mention,
and you know, a lot of people are having parties and just letting balloons go.
It's a kill streak.
These guys have analyzed
Yeah.
this footage for 6 years and they still don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So I think if it was a balloon or bird shit or a smudge on the camera or any of those number of things, they would have figured that out by now.
So we're on the anniversary of MH370.
Oh.
What do you think of that?
I've heard some weird things about that. The
orbs,
that
orbs
go around and
circling
it
it.
disappears. There's a guy. He's not even a big UFO guy, and he talks about how everything that he has uncovered from this flight would suggest that it did literally just disappear.
So there's a Netflix special that's 3 series, and I watched it.
Okay.
And I was waiting for them to get into this whole orb thing, and they went through a bunch of the different what they think. All these theories that have come out that different people have put together. And one of them that has stuck with me is that they were on the plane was a bunch of radio equipment that was going to China. It was U.S. radio equipment, military grade military equipment that was on the plane with a dignitary going to China that they could
I know
decode.
yeah.
And they think that AWAC took off with the plane, intercepted it mid-flight, and AWACS can jam. And the theory is that one was on top, one was on bottom, jammed it, and they let it down somewhere. You know, fighter jets came in and let it
Could
down
have
somewhere.
been.
And when you do that, you're like, okay, so what happened to all the crew of the people? You know, are we going to
Yeah.
think you
Right.
downed a plane and then just executed everyone?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. But I kept waiting for the orbs to come up.
It never did.
They never brought it up in that
Yeah.
little 3 thing.
And
I was like,
also,
dang
I've
it.
heard that the scientists, there were like 3 scientists aboard that plane who were working on this technology about, you know, these orbs and
Yeah.
what they're capable of. And so it could have even been
An
the
experiment.
scientists that were saved by their own technology. I mean, I've heard some really wild theories, but that footage is nuts.
Yeah,
the
it
footage
is.
is nuts.
It's
They
crazy.
never show it. They never talk about it. But then,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of people that have taken it apart and they're like, "Oh, it's all CGI. You can
No,
see." And I'm
it's
like,
not
No,
CGI.
there's been professional CGI guys out in LA and stuff that said, no, this is not
This ain't
CGI.
CGI.
It's
Yeah.
definitely
It's not anything.
CGI.
So it's funny, we talk about UFOs a lot in here, especially in the last year or so. But doesn't it strike you that we have this community or this country right now is so obsessed with Orange Man bad and old man running the White House, right?
Right.
They're so consumed with that garbage that they don't even realize all this crazy news that has come out in the last
It
5 years.
almost
That has to
seems
do
like
with,
it was planned.
I know.
Like a
it's-
distraction.
Yeah.
it
It
is.
does.
They put these old things that have always drawn us apart and pulled us apart.
Right.
And they just play the same card and it works.
And now now they have these to use, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Mhm.
golly, man,
it's embarrassing.
interesting.
The thing that
It is very embarrassing, but it's also the thing that's funny is I think Americans are struggling to because they're in denial that we're part of something that looks like a complete. Like all the shit's starting to hit the fan. All the conspiracy stories, some of them haven't been true, but a lot of them have, and the ones that have are doozies that are starting to come out.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and everybody thinks you're crazy for talking about them. Oh, you're a
Right,
crazy
right.
conspiracy.
No, you're a
conspiracy
realist.
theorist or
Conspiracy's a
whatever. And
bad
then like
word now.
Yeah.
6 months
I'm
down
just
the
a
road, it
realist.
comes out and it's true, and you're like,
yeah,
Oh, well, okay.
and we were talking about
Exactly.
this 6 months ago.
Have you
and
guys seen the octopus murders?
I just
want
saw-
to watch that.
Yeah, I just saw an
so
advertisement.
Is
for
it?
that.
It's so good.
Okay, because I
That's
saw the
Netflix,
thing for
right?
it. I want to watch it.
Definitely watch it.
It's
Okay.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Netflix.
I saw that the other day. I was like, that looks pretty cool.
It's really interesting.
The thing that creeps me out is the idea that UAPs, whoever they are, whatever's going on, they're keeping an eye on us and what we're doing with
Our nukes.
our nukes and
Yeah.
our nuclear energy and everything.
Yeah.
And they're keeping an eye on it. And the guy that other Netflix documentary watch, or no, it was the National Geo on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
That documentary where the guy from the military was like, they started fucking around moving nukes by truck from different places in the country
And
to
ships,
see what would
and
happen.
ships,
This
too.
was
See if they follow.
Yeah, see if they
and they were
follow.
followed every time.
Yep.
You know-
And just recently, you won't find this on the internet. There were
Fucking wild.
massive, large black triangles found over all of our nuclear
Triangles.
sensitive sites in the
Mhm.
northwest area, and we
That's the thing that's funny. Have you heard the
freaking
theory?
crazy.
Have you heard
So
the theory
they're
that?
worried that we're going to
Awesome.
hurt ourselves.
I think so too.
Well,
I
that's
think
what I was going to say.
there's-
There's this theory that we're not gonna ever have a nuclear holocaust because there's something watching us going, you guys aren't ready for this. I would really appreciate if y'all'd stop fucking around with this, and because you
don't
could
know
screw
what you're
ev-
doing.
like you could screw,
Multidimensional is the thing
Exactly.
that constantly gets brought up at these hearings.
and you could screw everything up if you set off a
You could be
nuke.
poking holes in some
They
other
already did with
dimension.
CERN.
And they apparently all these sightings and stuff kicked off and increased like tenfold after we bombed Japan.
Yeah, that's when we
That's
started
when-
seeing a major increase in sightings, and ever
And
since.
and the Manhattan Project and doing all the tests
Mhm.
out in the desert and stuff.
Yeah.
That's when they really started seeing them too.
It's
And
trippy
bikini.
stuff.
Bikini
Trips
Atoll,
you
all
out,
that.
man. But it's funny is you'll talk to some people that just watch, the broadcast news, whether it be
Yeah, it's
conservative
not
or
gonna be
they
on
don't
there.
even understand what you're talking about.
Well,
they like
that's-
never heard of
they
any
think
of this
you're
stuff. And you're
nuts.
like, well, that's because you've been consumed with someone on trial or some dumb shit that, like, honestly, you're missing the picture. You're missing the
You're
picture.
distracted by
You're
Ukraine,
distracted.
Russia, and
Yeah, you're worried about Russia.
if Trump's
That's-
going to be arrested. And
If there's
whatever,
a reporter
it's
in
like,
Russia that's getting that got assassinated or something, like we're distracted by that.
It's the other thing that is crazy was I was reading through something. I cannot find it now, and I wish I did because I wanted to bring it up on a show a few weeks ago. As I was reading through something, this guy said that it was a military intelligence guy that said at the beginning of Desert Shield or Desert Storm, a nuke was launched and it was intercepted.
Yeah.
And they don't know who did it, or they know who launched it,
Yeah, they don't know.
but
who
they don't know
intercepted
where it went, what happened to it, anything. It was gone.
I bet we do know, and they don't want to tell us. Because I've seen footage of UAPs flying in and deactivating missiles that have been
Yeah.
launched into space or
That's-
wherever the hell.
Well, and that was one of the things
That's
on the
crazy.
Nat Geo thing we
It's-
watched. That series was when they flew over the what were they, Atlas missile sites or the Titan missile sites, whatever, up in Dakota.
Or the,
Yeah.
the Minuteman.
That it shut them all down.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
killed the power to everything as it flew over.
Yeah.
And,
even
they
as
were
far
kind of
back
freaking
to
out,
like
like,
the
what the hell?
60s, like turning them off, or like going to Russia and turning them on, or just letting you know, like, hey, we can do.
We have
whatever the
control
fuck
of
we
this.
Yeah.
want. Like,
Yeah. You guys are the ant farm.
So, I've always found this interesting. Up into the 50s, you could see atomic bomb testing from the Las Vegas Strip.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's fucked.
Yeah, my
It's-
grandfather told me about that.
And you can go.
Wow.
There's tours out there.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Like the golden
north.
nugget
I
is in the
had
background
no
of this fucking mushroom
idea.
cloud.
Holy
They
for the foreground.
sold weekends to come out there and sit
Check
on
it
top of
out.
the buildings and stuff to watch it in the casinos. There's
Yeah.
stories about them doing that.
No shit.
My grandparents were huge Vegas and Reno
Would the
people.
would the radiation
when they were
reach
young.
that far?
No.
No, and it blew away.
Yeah,
Oh,
except
okay.
there was that fucking John Wayne movie. I can't remember which one it was. The one where he's in yellowface.
Oh,
Genghis Khan.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that whole movie they
That was
shot
kind of racist.
it, very much so. It was everything about that movie was terrible. But that movie was shot somewhere in the Nevada desert or Utah desert, but close enough to Vegas or whatever to count.
is that the one they sat through Fallout?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they were like a couple miles down or like upwind, I guess, or whatever, of a nuclear test site, and then the wind shifted and blew all that fallout onto that movie site. The movie was shot in the 50s, and by the 1980s, like 90% of the people that worked on that movie were dead from cancer.
wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
Man,
there's
that'd be crazy.
really great podcast. Adam McKay had a podcast called Death on the Lot. It was all about 1950s and 60s, like Hollywood people
Hollywood
that died
shit.
in mysterious
I
ways.
saw about that. Yeah.
Oh, it was a great fucking show. But the last episode was about the movie Genghis Khan.
I'm gonna go listen to that. That's
Oh,
cool.
it's good. It's good. It goes down easy too. And Adam McKay is funny as hell, obviously.
Yeah.
So you want to journey down another wormhole that kind of connects to this.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Thanks to Richard Keller, if he's still in the chat room, he creeped me out today.
Hey, what's up, Richie?
And I don't know if he's still in there. He sends me this video, and it's talking about, have y'all ever used the app Randonautica?
I've heard of
No.
it.
What is
Yeah,
that?
where it gives you a random like spot and you go
Yeah.
and check it out.
So you get in this app, and it's supposed to be for you to explore and get outdoors and adventure and all this stuff.
It was a TikTok
Is
trend
what
for a
it's-
minute.
It is a
And during the pandemic.
TikTok trend. Yeah, it was. It came out during the pandemic, and what it
Pokemon?
does is
Pokemon
That's
Go.
what it sounds like.
Little after
Pokemon
that.
Go.
They went to some weird fucking places though. I saw some footage of some of the places
That's
they
what I wanna
sent them
get
to.
So it's random locations powered by quantum events. It says
Oh,
step into the
wow.
unknown and discover the world in a whole new way with the first random location generator powered by quantum events. And it
What
says,
does that even mean?
It
Like,
says these locations are powered by you. Intentionally journeying to a random location has proven to be weird and interesting for millions of people across the world. Randonaut and entangle your mind. So I had this for when it came out.
I had it on
because
my phone too. I might still.
I was very interested in it, and I did it a few times. And yeah, it gave me locations because it's supposed to be like around you. And what you do is
Yeah.
you put in there. It says, I can't remember the question. It's like, how do you want to be inspired, or
Just
something
weird,
like
random
that.
weird
And
questions
you put
like
in,
that. Yeah.
you put in like, I'm seeking
That's right.
peace.
What
I'm
are you
seeking
seeking?
tranquility. I'm seeking
Yeah.
happiness. I'm seeking
Chaos.
I'm
Sure.
seeking death. I'm seeking
Chaos.
darkness. I'm seeking suicide. I'm seeking whatever. You put it in there.
Chaos.
And
Chaos.
it sits there a minute, and then it generates a pin somewhere.
Yeah.
And you go follow that pin, and it's supposed to help you out. So a lot of people were using it for creative reasons. And, of course, people were doing dark shit with it, too. But
Chaos.
like the one I did was like yeah, chaos. The one I did when I did it was like
My name's Chaos.
like I'm seeking relaxation or something like
Yeah.
that. And it put the pin in someone's backyard like a couple of streets over. And I was like, well, I'm not going to go there. So then you do it again, and it does it.
It takes you to my
else's
house and like,
front yard.
Hey,
and
Dustin, why don't you sit in my
That's
lap real
lame.
quick, buddy?
Matt's just butt naked out on the
It's like,
porch.
oh,
Chaos. So he sends me this video that's talking about it, and I forgot all about the app. And after he sent it, I was like, I think I've got that app. And sure enough, I still do on my phone. And the video talks about these kids in Seattle that did it, and they're Instagram, TikTokers, whatever. They're influencers, and there's 4 of them, so they're going to do it. And it takes them to this park that's got a little pier and everything, and where the pin put them was a suitcase.
I've seen this video.
And they're sitting there jacking with the suitcase, and they're like, maybe it's full of money, maybe it's full of this, maybe it's full of that.
None of the things they thought were going to be in the suitcase.
And they're like,
were in
man,
there.
this kind of stinks.
Maybe we should leave it
It's
alone.
kind of gross,
Dead body in the suitcase.
So they get down there, and they finally get a stick, and they open up the zipper, and there's another bag inside of it, and it gets
Yeah.
real ranky.
I
And they're
saw
like,
this
we
video.
think this is a body. So they call the cops, and the cops 3 hours later finally show up, and the tide has risen. And as the tide's rising, and they're watching it, pieces of bodies start coming out and everything.
You gotta be kidding me.
So they're like, what the fuck? And they're going the whole time. The pin took us right here. The pin took us here.
And the cops don't believe them.
There's stories about, the Seattle News did all this stuff and everything, and it's freaky as hell. So
Oh,
then the
man.
guy that's making the video that Rich sent me, they go into other people that have found things. Like this lady's like, I wanted to find extreme sadness, or I wanted to find death, and because she was depressed. So it led her to a spot where a guy is holding his wife that was just shot. and she's bleeding
So
out.
this is stuff not that has happened just in the past, but stuff that's happening currently.
Currently.
Like
right
real
now.
time.
So then there's
That's
real
weird.
time.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Sounds like
And-
Black Mirror.
It
So-
does. It does.
He's like, he brings up a couple of more examples. I can't remember right now, but some of them are like, you know, it took me to this place and I found a body, or I found a bunch of bodies.
Has
or I
anyone found
this and
anything
that.
good, like $1 million or
Well,
anything?
He's on the
They're not
dark side
talking
of
about it.
He's on the doing the dark side of it. But you know, there's people that have gone out in the woods that are like, you know, I want to find creativity, and they show up, and it's like a bunch of stick figure bullshit from True Detective and stuff
man.
hanging in trees. And
See,
they're
if
like,
I was a
"What the
kid
hell is
right now
this?"
living in East Texas, I'd be like typing in, I want to see naked ladies. And
There you go.
Hopefully
I want
it'd put me out in the
nudity.
woods.
Beach somewhere.
Yeah.
Does somebody
Some
set
guy
that
comes
in, or how-
chasing you with that thing that I showed you earlier.
Chaos time. Chaos.
So somebody sets that pin, or that's not automatically
No,
generated then?
the
right?
way
It's randomly generated.
randomly generated.
could
But
it be?
so what they're thinking is that since it's this quantum physics and computing, that it's fucking with people's desires and their minds, and like, you know,
Putting them in a trance? Or
no,
something?
putting them in places somehow.
Not paying
Computing and
attention.
putting people in these places where shit's going down. So the guy's
It's
like,
just
he goes, I'm gonna test this.
tying two mentally ill people together,
Yeah.
and then sending a third person to that location.
This doesn't
Could
sound like
be.
a good idea for America.
So he,
Yeah, maybe we should
he's
let
like,
a trend into it.
he's like, I don't believe this. He's apparently his channel is all about. He debunks like ghost hunting apps and
Yeah.
bullshit and gear and stuff. He's all against that.
Debunkers.
So he's like, I'm cynical. I don't believe this shit. So me and my girlfriend are gonna go. We're gonna put in. He's joking around, and he's like, you know, we want to find blood. And then he backs out, and he's like, no, we need to keep it calm. Let's do this and that. Well, it sent him 2 different pins. Well, one pin was in someone's backyard, and he's like, I'm not gonna go
Sure.
on a private property. But the other one took them to these houses, and as they're pulling up, all these ambulances and fire trucks are pulling up,
No
What the
shit.
hell?
and they're like, what the fuck?
This
What
is
is
gonna
this?
be a movie pretty soon.
What's going on here? This is
It
strange.
should be.
Yeah.
And so he's like, they're standing around and they're waiting, and it's right. Their pin is right there where,
Just on the
all this is
spot,
going.
like,
Yeah.
Exactly on the spot.
and he's like, this is jacked up, and she starts freaking out. So they leave, and later that night, he's like, we're gonna do it again. And he's like, you know what? I
that was
want.
a freak.
He's
accident.
like, I'm just gonna see what happens. We want death.
Ah,
We're
Okay.
seeking death.
Dun, dun,
Let's go
dun.
deep.
And he said,
chaos.
he goes,
Chaos.
they start heading to their pin location,
Chaos.
and a car swerves and comes within 1 inch of having a full head-on collision
Good
with
gosh,
him.
man.
Whoa.
And he's
that
like,
is-
him and his girlfriend got so freaked out they went back home and was like,
I don't want to play anymore.
I don't want
Delete
I'm
all
done.
this.
I'm
I'm
gonna put
done.
my bra
I don't
back
want to play
on,
with
honey.
this. I don't want
Yeah.
anything to do with this.
I've heard of some people finding some shit like they did not intend to find, and
Yeah.
they were like, "I'm done with this."
Whatever
Well, if
happened
you-
to chat roulette? I mean, geez.
Yeah,
We're just
I
a bunch
know.
of dicks, is what
Just
happened
keep
to
it
it.
simple, guys.
Well, after watching that video that he sent, I went and looked up. I hopped on Reddit just to see, you know, if anybody's talking about. And there's a whole
It's a whole
page,
subreddit.
subreddit about
examples?
people
I
of shit
figured.
they've run into.
I would love to know how this app works.
And
I'd love to
I
know
would
how
like
they
to
made
too.
it.
One lady was talking about, you know, me and my husband, we were on a hike, so we wanted to go find, you know, a place to chill out and relax. And
Fuck spot.
probably
spot.
more than like. And they found this,
Watch the submarine
like,
races.
she was talking, and this was a good one. You know, she's like, we have walked through this place a zillion times, and it led us to where this other pin was, or where the pin was, and it was just this nice, clear opening that looked like it had been perfectly manicured and everything. But there's no way to get to it. You had to fight your way through some trees and bushes to get to it.
Wow.
But it was just this nice, perfect place where we could chill out, and we still go there and,
Yeah.
and
that's
chill out,
cool.
relax. But then, like,
Wow.
some people are
I like that story better.
Yeah, I do too.
you know, I went to this place and came across this little girl that's been missing for
Oh my gosh.
6 years or something. You know, people have these stories, and it's like,
Yeah.
golly. But I don't know. That's
Be
It's-
very
it's
select with your
wild.
decisions on that app, I guess.
I think I do remember actually using this app once, and I don't remember why, but we turned back. We were like, no. But
I don't know.
I would
It's
love to figure more.
That's.
out
I'm surprised there's
how
not
it
a
works.
podcast that just does it. That's their show.
That
is
hurts.
we
We're
just do
going
that.
to
And there's probably
coordinates.
5
Someone
like
should
that.
There
make
probably
one.
is. I'm so old school. There's like, you dumbass. There's like 20 of them.
Look at it, research it. The video's interesting. The guy that's narrating is like, it was like nails on a chalkboard. Listen to this guy talk because it's just like, I don't know. He shouldn't do voiceover work, but
So this is all crazy, freaky stuff that y'all are talking about. It's very, and some of it's new that I haven't heard of, especially this app and stuff. Can you imagine when we start putting the chips in people's brains, like Elon's doing, the
'Cause,
Neuralink?
Now, like you have the watches and monitor your heart rate and things
Mhm.
like that.
Bam.
Maybe that information's being put into the app somehow. I mean, I don't know what data they have access to. And
All
how.
of it. They have access to all of it
There
that
you
you
go.
allow them
I
to
mean,
have access to.
But how does this app like build precognition for these people where they're showing up to these
Well, it's
places?
the same way that
very minority report-ish.
Same way that if you're talking about Oreos with your friend, and all of a sudden you start getting
Yeah.
Facebook ads for Oreos. It's they geolocate your phone, and they know your preferences, and they cross-reference that, and
And then what they
you
do?
could
Here's
do-
a pin where a murder just happened.
You could do the
Go
same
there.
Or is
thing.
about to happen.
You
The
could
heartbeat
do.
stops.
It's
That's so
not. It's
weird.
not a stretch to think you could do the same thing with like this dude Google searched how to bury a body like 4 times, and his
Not on the
his
dark web.
girlfriend who is Google searched like how to get out of an abusive relationship 17 times.
So
they're at this location together right now. Like let's
That's a
just
good
it
send.
sounds
point,
like all
yeah.
our investigations pretty soon for law enforcement's going to be done with AI
It's
and
Minority
algorithms
Report,
and
man.
stuff.
Well,
It is
that's-
Minority Report.
That's when things get scary.
We're done. We're going to be in
We are.
prison.
I don't know. It was just really weird.
All of us
and
sitting
then
at this table, we're going to prison.
as I'm going through all this, and I'm reading all this stuff, and I'm going through Reddit, and I'm reading all these stories that are borderline creepy. You're just kind of like, because I'm cynical about all this shit. I'm just
Sure,
like,
you
come on,
have to
come on,
be.
really? But then these people are like being like, and here's the news story about it. And here's this, and here's that. And I'm still cynical. I'm like, well, you could have typed this up after you saw the news story and like, oh yeah, I was there. Like everybody was at,
Sure,
sure.
sure.
Everybody saw the Dimebag's first show or something.
But the
or-
videos, I
Sorry.
mean, like you go and find this. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be hard to.
I want to know where the footage, the cell phone footage of the Miami aliens are, the giant people.
What
I wanna
happened with
see
all
it.
that?
They
I want
buried
to
that
see
shit.
They got
fast.
swept the fuck
Fast.
under the rug.
Yeah. So they were like, oh, it's there's like 50 kids with fireworks. It's like, okay, so that's why you had
Half the
FBI
state.
helicopters there
Yeah.
and every single law enforcement officer
For
on duty.
8 counties?
Yeah.
Like there were there
Give
were
me a fucking
500
break.
cars
Yeah.
I
there.
saw some weird footage of some weird shit, like a weird looking screen, and it looked like something was crawling out of it. And I was like, I don't know what I'm watching.
Like The
right
Ring?
now.
Was it one of those
Kind of.
raves? Have you seen
Whoa.
those videos from the raves now and stuff like the
I
dance
went to
parties?
Shackfest, baby.
Are you are you going to Flavorfest? Too bad. It got canceled. Sorry.
No Flavor Town for you.
But yet some of the videos that I'm seeing on like Instagram and YouTube from these dance parties, these fucking whatever.
all the lasers they have and shit.
Oh my gosh, it's like, man, if you
That
if-
still wouldn't
if
explain Miami.
19,
No, this was footage from the mall.
oh, it was,
Yeah.
Oh.
and it was a screen.
It was this guy, and he walked up and put a briefcase down and opened it and pulled out a screen, and there were people running, and everyone's running away, and then all of a sudden, like, you see this dark arms and legs, like, coming out of the screen. And I'm like, I don't know if this is related in any way. I mean, I know it's at the mall, but I don't know if, I don't know what I'm really looking at.
Yeah, it's funny. There's been 0 cell phone footage released.
Well,
I mean,
that's
they
it's
took 'em
because-
all.
gone. It's
yeah.
gone.
Well,
It's-
there was footage of a kid who his dad was like chief of police in that city, and he asked him like jokingly, "Okay, does it have anything to do with aliens?" He doesn't. The dad is on video chat. He doesn't know he's being recorded, and he said, "I can't talk about that."
the
if it
cop,
was-
the police officer.
Yeah, he said, "I can't talk about that." And you think like, if it was not alien related in any way or interdimensional or whatever, he would have just been like laughed it off,
Wow.
But he, serious as ever, I can't talk about that.
So you think the screen was like a wormhole or a portal?
I don't know. I've heard from people that have been there that the creatures they saw looked like they didn't know where the fuck they were either.
Well, and that's what one of the things I read was like the creatures acted like they were confused and scared, and that's
Yeah.
why they were lashing out and attacking things, because they were just like, we don't know where we are. What's going on? What is this?
Yeah, and it makes you think about the Vegas incident where the kid that it happened in his backyard, he goes into his backyard and starts showing this thing in the sand that was drawn, and it's like the picture of this sculpture they had, and it was just like these weird, it almost looked like ancient hand paintings or something, and he was like, I swear to God, this wasn't here last night. And it's like,
That's so
are you
strange, man.
fucking
So
with me?
weird.
And then that same family denied all interviews with everybody that came to the house. So they had all these interviews with major news corporations to show up there and talk to them, and then they just stopped answering the door. It's like, who
Talk to
took
them.
your footage? Who told you not to talk to these people? But I don't know. You got to take it all with a grain of salt.
That story down in Miami though is going to come out because that's too many law enforcement to keep their mouth shut.
It's too many people in a mall.
and the people in the mall. Yeah,
I mean,
Stephenville.
yeah, but still, man,
Hundreds of people saw Stephenville.
Yeah.
there's been a lot of mass sightings.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask you if you had seen the show on Netflix about the mass sightings. It's freaking awesome. It's like they go to what's the one they do at the daycare?
That was in Africa?
Yeah, it was like
Oh,
in
yeah,
Africa,
yeah, and they
and-
said that they came down and told them you need to take better care of the
Yeah, and you
planet.
could tell
Yeah.
how messed up those kids were when they interviewed them. Now they're all like fucking tweakers and just have. You could tell they all have emotional problems from that.
Because you don't know how to process it.
No.
No one believes you. So
Yeah.
You start to question your own.
Yeah, that's a good. What was it called?
Well, that's what happened with
Unexplained Encounters or something like that, or
the main guy that actually worked for Lockheed that lived in Stephenville, who got a divorce from his wife and everything, or his
'Cause it
wife left him
consumed
because
him?
it consumed him. Because
Yeah.
he's like, I know how this shit works.
Yeah.
I can't explain this, and now I've got to chase it to figure it out, and it consumed his life. And she
and the lady,
was like,
that reporter too. Remember she was working for the newspaper, and she
Oh, yeah,
totally she did it till COVID, and then she passed away.
she passed
unfortunately.
away, and her editor gave her a bunch of grief and shit about it
And now
until
she's obsessed with it.
she saw one.
Yeah.
She saw the second one and was like, oh my God, she was right this whole time.
That was
I've been giving her
thousands of
hell.
people, like what,
Yeah.
less than 300 miles away from here that saw
Less
that.
than 300,
We
less than
scrambled
100 miles
we
away
scra-
from
our-
here.
the jets were scrambled from here, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
T-
uncommon too.
and
a
it
lot of people
flew-
in jets that come up close with a UAP talk about how their radar and whatever gets jammed.
Yeah.
They flew, I mean, they said that the UAP came from Comanche Peak, going
See?
towards Stephenville,
See?
going towards Dublin.
Here we go. Comanche
Going
Peak.
to the north. Like it came from that direction, and then the fighters were scrambled from.
Those
so they
aliens,
say.
man, they were just checking out, making sure we weren't messing with Comanche Peak. you
We need to
know?
go. We need to go.
Are they
They do.
aliens? Are they interplanetary? I mean, they could even
Could be future us.
multi-dimensional. It could be so many things. I think that
Future
there are
humans.
people who have a better grasp of where they're from, and it could even be more than one. It could be some interplanet. It could be all of the above.
Well, we need to go to either. We need to go spend some nights out at Dinosaur Valley, or work our way to get into Squaw Creek, where we can just sit there and watch the nuclear power plants and be like,
Watch the aliens monitor it.
where are they at? What's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm 100% fascinated. I love this.
wonder if they
I love
listen to
nuclear
podcasts.
technology. I love going down that rabbit hole. I love delving into it and reading about it and learning about it. I've always loved being out there around Comanche Peak.
Yeah, it's
but
awesome.
I've always had a weird feeling about that place.
Your
Always.
instincts don't lie.
Always
Your
had a
intuition
weird
doesn't
feeling
lie.
about
to
it,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something up with stuff
I mean,
going on out
Skinwalker
there.
Ranch. Like, what the fuck is that about? So many
What if-
things that just don't.
Have
make
you watched the
sense.
other one? Because I got sucked into it. It's not Skinwalker Ranch. It's the other one. He's like across the road from him or something like that. Oh fuck! What is it called?
Fleshwalker Ranch.
Fleshwalker.
Fleshlight Ranch. It's a very weird show. No, this guy, he's an old oil guy from Texas, and he bought the ranch, and they just go out there and they're digging around looking for shit, and it's all come out that they're all made up. They're just basically piggybacking off the Skinwalker Ranch shit, and they just make
there
all
you
that shit
go.
up.
I mean, there's always going to be that fucking asshole that makes the fake video and
Yeah.
has the fake story and just wants publicity. But like, I think you can sort those people out. If
I
you really
think-
look into it.
I think we started colliding atoms, a while back, and
CERN.
they opened up a portal and just don't even know how to shut it now at this point. They can't figure out how to shut it, and so we're just gonna have more and more of these
so
encounters.
much more complicated. Like I think we're just not. We don't
Significant.
have the information. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I don't think we're the most intelligent species on this planet.
Well, that's what all those people that testified said. We are not the alpha of this universe. We're not the
Yeah,
alpha.
no,
That's what
of the
everybody's
species.
Not even
scared of.
close.
Well, that's what they were. That's what the guys that testified all said. We're not. Looking at the technology and what we've seen with video now, we're not the apex
And
predator.
it's not even just
Do you
what see with your
remember
eyes, if
Nelson
your shit's
Mandela's
being
funeral?
Yeah.
That's one of those things.
That's one of those ones. Yeah.
Thought I imagined it.
That everybody, like half the people, the guy I work with, is like, I remember watching Nelson Mandela's funeral on TV.
Yeah, they swear by it.
They swear
Yeah.
by it. And the whole Shazam and
Yeah, no, I definitely have the Shazam thing. I'm
the
like,
Sinbad
fuck,
Shazam,
and I
yeah.
don't want to believe it, but I'm like, what is
The
going on?
Berenstein
And then there's
Bears.
yeah,
Bernstein
there's
Bears,
the,
Bernstein Bears.
the new idea that it's some kind of government ploy to see if they can,
Yeah. To
change
see how
our
much they can
idea of
change.
what
Well, then
the
like
thinking.
Fruit of the Loom tries to like play on that
Yeah.
and just pretend like they didn't have that fucking cornucopia.
They
cornucopia.
did.
Yeah.
They definitely
They
fucked
did.
up.
And they're like, hey, just kidding. We got you."
Okay,
Gotcha.
you found an old piece of clothing that actually
Yeah.
did have that logo. All right.
We came this close.
Yeah, I can't remember. There was a bunch of stuff I was talking about one day about things I remember from my childhood. They're like, no, that never happened. That never existed. You're like,
I still don't know what's going on with the Shazam thing. That has me fucked up. But
yeah.
because I feel like I definitely remember watching that. I can picture where I was in my first house growing up on the floor watching TV, and
I know a bunch of people. I
thought it
that
was-
was right. Like I
I
was
thought
too
it-
old to
I-
watch
I-
stuff like that.
I thought
was
it was
a little kid. I was
yeah.
prime
I thought
age
that
for it.
was him doing that.
Yeah,
And then they
Sinbad.
made a fake
It-
movie that
Called Kazam.
because
they put footage of it and they try to fuck with you, and it's like no, this wasn't it.
yeah,
I remember. I don't know.
I wonder if
I
he
don't know.
played a role in something.
time.
Because
like
I know
had
that
a-
my memories have, like
Yeah.
you watch an old home movie and suddenly you start to remember things or whatever, and you maybe create false memories. Like I know that's
or
a real thing.
was this a fever dream?
Sure.
Like, was I
or,
in some
like
other?
memories fucking distort the way things actually
Well,
happen.
the thing,
Yeah.
like that's we talked about this, I think, last week or recently about the DMT. How you see that the one commonality is the clock trolls that people see.
I didn't see clock trolls. I did see a light being. And
Yeah.
I spoke to them, and they used thought projection to tell me that my ideas of death were not correct. Death is a cycle and think just some weird shit. And it wasn't until like 10 years later when I'm watching these documentaries about UAPs and different entities that they come in contact with, they showed a picture of a fucking light being. And I was like, what the fuck? That's a real thing. And I'm looking at the photo and I'm like, this is what I fucking saw. Like it was, I jumped out of my chair. I was just baffled by it.
So if we're going down this path, what about everybody having the exact same fucking story when they're on DMT?
They always come in
Oh,
contact with
yeah.
entities.
Yeah, there's always something.
And also,
hanging
my
out.
brother did
Sammy
at the
sends
same
me
time,
some pretty regular
had the
TikToks of
same
some-
exact experience.
Yeah,
That's all I hear is that
trippy.
everybody
same
has the
light beings,
same
same message, same everything.
same exact experience, same conversation.
I think it's a doorway to leaving your body and actually going someplace because
yeah, it's entering a new.
this was
dimension,
as real as
I
this
think.
conversation right now.
Yeah.
It happened. Like
It's
I
seeing
wrote
the
it
other
off for
side
a
of the
while,
paper.
But after learning more and more about how coming in contact with these entities actually goes and how they use thought projection and how these light beings are actually something that are commonly seen, I had no idea what a fucking light being was. When I did it, I did make the conscious decision I want to talk to another entity, extraterrestrial, whatever, and I did not think that it was going to look like that. I didn't think it was going to be that. I didn't think it was going to tell me that. It wasn't something that my mind could have concocted because everything that I understood about extraterrestrials was so limited at that point, and then it all checks every box, and it's just too
And
perfect to be not anything.
that's what blows my mind is that everybody's exactly the same. Did you ask like What
didn't
am I
say
supposed to
a
do with my
word.
life? Am I supposed to? Did you
No.
project
It
anything?
knew,
like,
it was like it knew what I was thinking. It knew everything about me. It's
See,
like it'd
and that's
been
what everybody else
right
says.
there through every step
See,
of my life.
This is funny because I don't know if I've talked about this on the show or not, but I don't know about this light being thing because I haven't looked into it. Being is what you're saying, like
Light
a
being,
being.
yeah, and
Okay,
it looks like a silhouette made out of light.
Right,
Very
okay,
tall, about 8
so
feet tall, very skinny.
this is what's weird, and it might not be the same thing at all. But I remember my whole life I've had a vision, and the first time I saw, remember when they started selling those lights that were. It was like a rock light thing, and it was kind of a brownish
The
hue.
salt?
Yeah,
The
the
salt lights?
salt lights. Yeah, remember when they started selling those?
Yeah, yeah.
And that color,
I have
what my daughter got one, and it dimmed and stuff, but that hue and something about the dimness reminded me of that. How I've always had this image of that color and a motherly figure, and I always thought it was like some outer space movie that I watched, and it's like a freaking like weird dome type thing, and I'm freaking in this room with her, and that's kind of how she looks like, that cute, that type of tone and light. That's what she looks like, and it's warm, and it also it's appealing in a peaceful way. It's like almost takes you over in this peace.
Yeah. It is.
Is that what the light being? Is
Yes.
that's what I've had a light being experience.
See,
I'm being dead serious.
I
too,
believe
man.
you, dude. I believe. If anyone's gonna believe you here, it's me.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm too scared to do that because I'm afraid of what it would. It might break me.
It won't.
I'm right there with you.
It's
Like
not gonna break
that,
you.
I think that's what I'm afraid of. Like I might come out of this and be like, "What the fuck, my life."
That's why
I've
those
been
guys
going the
pay
wrong
for those
way.
retreats.
Well,
That's why they pay those money for
the only
the
thing
retreats
that's
down
keeping
in
me
the-
from it is I saw some meme a couple of years ago that was like, imagine dying and it being your third best trip.
That's a good point.
You know,
that'd be a good shirt.
funny.
One
That'd be
of
a
the
good
things
shirt.
the light being actually told me was that wherever you are in your life and whatever you do in that moment is exactly where you're supposed to be. So,
Well, that's fucking convenient.
I remember there was a lot of weird sounds and stuff in mine too, like weird sounds and like.
So for 565 weeks, I've been sitting in front of this damn microphone.
I thought I've told
whatever-
the story.
where I was supposed
whatever
to
your
be.
journey and your path is, it's
Oh,
exactly
I thought you were talking
where
about
you're
my
supposed to be. I mean, that's what he told me. I don't know if that applies to everybody.
Well,
what
that's
he
one
told
of the
me.
things that show, that a lot of stuff, and I've heard other people say that too. Did you watch the was it Joe Rogan did a deal like 10 years ago, I think it was about the DMT, the God molecule. It was a documentary about it. Did you watch that?
Oh, I watched that. Yeah.
That's kind of the same thing. Like all the trips led to being a better human. It seems like when they do have these experience with entities and like clock trolls or whatever, or light beings or whatever it is, the message that's and in that special, that Netflix special about the aliens, when it came down, it's always a positive message. Like, hey, get your stuff in order. Like humans need to, like, you're the best form of you. And be yourself and take care of this planet. That's way more important than people realize, is kind of what people said.
Mm-hmm.
The commonality of the trips on Joe Rogan's and the Netflix special. It's weird.
It makes you question, free will and the trajectory of your life. And am I hardwired to make every decision I'm going to make? Do I really have free
It makes you
will?
question everything. Yeah.
It does.
Well, see, and that's been my argument for the past few years when we get into the deep UFO talk and this becoming public and everything, is that I think a big play in it, besides government not wanting people to know what's going on out there, religion doesn't want people to know what's going on there.
That's the biggest
Certainly.
one. Yeah.
Because it punches a hole in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's a major player in the reason why it's not going to be disclosed to us. And if they do have to disclose anything, it's going to be the least amount of information possible.
Yeah.
Because I think it does play into spirituality. I think it does play into perception, into everything we understand about why we're here, what we're doing.
Which doesn't make much sense to me when you really break it down, because if you are a spiritual person and you do believe in a higher power and, angels and God and
we don't
everything.
have to go there. I mean,
But even that you could see this as maybe that's what this is. Maybe they're reaching through. Maybe they're trying to help things.
Well,
but I don't.
it goes back to like ancient civilization, and are they misinterpreting these entities as something holy or benevolent? And maybe it's not that simple. Maybe it's something beyond what we can currently understand.
But it is very, very interesting. Have you seen Lost Civilizations?
I don't think so. Maybe
that's the other guy that Joe Rogan had on quite a bit around the Lazar stuff. Where this guy, he spent a bunch of time. It's on Netflix too.
Oh, okay.
But it's a series, and basically he goes around the world and he finds all these civilizations that have been wiped out and lost that people just don't know about, or historians, they're not widely known. And all of them have basically the same origin story.
That's the weirdest thing.
That's the weirdest
the
fucking
message
thing.
Doesn't change.
It does not.
And that's
why no matter where they are in the world, how far they are apart,
where it is, what's going on.
The origin story is the same.
Always the same.
That's why I think that it's crazy that we've separated into these different religions, because I think everybody is worshiping the same thing their own way is what it is. I think it's like their own right, but it's all the same thing.
I've had that feeling for a long time.
Yeah.
Like before I ever
different
took
texts,
DMT.
different scriptures, different beliefs.
Yeah, saying the same thing with different
wordings.
Yeah, or different perception or whatever.
Well, this isn't how I thought the show was going to go.
But I'm happy. How I thought this is fantastic. I love this. I love this because I love when we get down these crazy, fun rabbit holes and deep thought and conversation about stuff like this.
The
It's really
freakiest
cool.
thing that I've seen in the last few weeks, though, is that picture. I don't know if you guys listen to the show. We had a
The color
guest
of the
on
dress? No.
the haunted jail down the street. That's a studio now.
Oh,
did you see the picture?
No. That hasn't been released yet.
What are you talking about?
The picture they showed us that off mic after the show. That's going to be on their season finale. They haven't put that up yet.
Yeah.
Well, no one else has seen it, but they saw something that there is no question,
and they have it on video
in anybody's mind. Yes.
Yes.
Of what it is, and it is shocking.
I'm not a believer either. Like I'm not one of those people that
we walk out of here going.
What do you call it?
Skeptic.
On Ghost.
I'm
on
so
Ghost
skeptical.
stuff.
I think that the whole thing ties
together. Yeah,
I
kind of think that.
And
too.
I swear to God, ghosts were like the last fucking thing you'd ever convince me of. I went to the Menger Hotel in San Antonio, and I had some weird encounters with some weird shit, and to this day, I think back on it, I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like doors locking and unlocking on their own, seeing weird things in the mirrors.
I leave the door open for that. That we are not. Something knows more than us. If it's God or whatever, we're not meant. There's some kind of expansion that we don't know.
Multi-dimensional aspect.
Right.
To all this.
And if I do prescribe to that, like I say, prescribe or subscribe to that. That is something that I think is real. There's something that's higher than can think better than us. And if that ghost tie into that, but for the most part, I've told my kids and stuff, I've never seen one, and I'm almost 50 years old. So that's kind of how I lived. I'm like, I've seen some weird stuff, but there's always been something that can explain it or whatever. But this that I saw was weird. And the thing that's cool is they said we could go on one of their ventures pretty soon. So
fun.
I think, talking about like the ghost aspect and the spirit aspect and all that, we've kind of been trained for this ever since we were little kids, watching like paranormal movies and stuff, how they talk about, this is an interdimensional thing, or this is something coming, like we talked about
like
The Ring.
The idea of the grays and how they look and kind of drip fed to us.
But like The Ring, this girl crawls out of TV from a different dimension and kills everyone. Poltergeist, where these they came.
And they always teach you to be afraid of it, though.
Yeah, you're supposed to be afraid of it.
Run away.
Freak out. Yeah.
Maybe that's not the answer.
Maybe that's not it. But yeah, you've kind of been trained that this is. What was that movie with Michael Keaton where they have the radio and they can hear the dead people through the radio? Was it Michael Keaton?
Oh, it was that. It was
White
when
Noise.
White Noise.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
thing. That was a different dimension
Yeah.
that they're trying to talk to each other through and stuff.
Yeah, which is why Skinwalker Ranch has me so just baffled.
I
don't
couldn't
know
get
what to
into it,
think.
man. I guess I didn't stick with it long enough.
The movie?
The show that was on. Is that what you're talking about? The show that was on.
Skinwalker.
Oh, I don't mean about a show. I just mean in general, some of the things that people have claimed have happened there, or some of the
Well, you also have
experiences people have there.
Yeah.
you have
What is
weird,
it? Where's it at again?
It's in
Nevada?
Utah.
It's in
desert,
Utah.
Utah.
It's in northern
In
Utah,
that
but
area.
you also have
It's a bunch
Oh,
of Mormons
Susie's gonna
doing
have to-
cosplay.
Susie will have to help me with this, but you got the Indian tribe up there that
Oh, yeah.
also it's part of their belief. Skinwalkers are part of their belief.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they're shape shifting. They're people that were
Goes
cast
back
out
to-
from their tribe, and they shape shift into whatever they want, whether it be
Yeah.
animal or
And
whatever.
I mean, I don't know, but
But there's a lot of
something weird
audio
about that area. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
People have a lot of audio of shit calling to them.
Yeah, the Bigelow
I'm out in the
guy
desert by
buying that
myself and listening to this
place
audio.
for as long as he did, and then he tells us, "Yeah, no, we're not alone.
Yeah,
They walk among us." It's like, what the fuck does that mean?
it is the Navajo. I wanted to make sure it was the Navajo. Yeah, but I mean the audio
They
that
walk
people
among us.
post is like guys walking around with their phone and they're just talking. They're like, "What the fuck was that?" And all of a sudden you hear this, "Hey, you, come over here.
Yeah.
Hey, you."
And if
Hey,
they
you. And
say
he's
if
like,
you ever hear
"What the
someone
fuck?"
calling for help and you're like out
Go
in
the
middle of nowhere,
opposite
get
way.
the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I get a bunch of like Appalachian Trail videos.
Same
like,
thing.
yeah.
Whatever those are.
Same thing. That's a
Can't
little more
remember
on
what they're called.
the witchcrafty side of it rather than the.
Hey, help me.
Yeah.
Help me. Come here.
Yeah.
Help.
Uh-uh.
The
If
weird
you hear
thing-
somebody call your
Nope.
name on the
Nah.
Appalachian Trail,
Exactly,
they
yeah.
didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you hear too, like these government agencies that look into UAPs and stuff, they have to file the paranormal into these investigations because there's no other way to cover it completely.
Yeah.
So it just leaves you going, what the fuck, with more questions than you started with.
I know it's insane, especially I'm telling you, it's like since the last time we did a show together that all this stuff has come out, and I've read and listened and stuff. It's like I can't believe the rest of the world's not like us, like freaking out about this stuff every day. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Gotta be.
Stop
I mean,
worrying about us in this country and start thinking a bigger picture a little bit.
I mean, you still have to do what
You
you, gotta
do.
do. You
Right.
still gotta commit to your obligations and all that. But no, at night when I lay in bed, I'm like, am I gonna see a 3.5 foot tall being come check my pulse or something?
Am I going to see
Like,
tomorrow?
I don't know.
That's
And
the other thing too, is all the discovery, like all the new technologies and like the way we can see how much more all that space out there, and we're starting to see. Like, have you noticed in the last few years they would say these things like, "Oh, that's way off, that asteroid or that comet," but now it's like, "Oh, NASA just discovered like 3 days ago a universe destroyer or something like that would wipe out the whole universe." You're like, dude.
And NASA's also not telling
calm.
us
Right.
about certain
They-
things that they've caught on footage,
Right.
and they've even been caught filtering the Mars footage with red light and things like that. It's like, well,
Yeah.
who can we trust?
I had a buddy that worked at NASA, and he did the long tours and stuff where they it takes like 6 hours or something down in Houston. And he had a story that was crazy about when they went through the there's a part of the tour that you can go on that you're like kind of back behind all the controllers and like all the guys doing they got the screen up and everything like that. And it was something like they had never had a break in communication, like a blacked out screen, and so the staff, the tour guides and stuff, didn't really know what to do. They were like, "Okay, we don't know what to do." So, and then eventually someone radioed in and like whisked them away, like the bus, all of them. And apparently there's some kind of delay between what the tourist people can see and what happens, or something like that. And apparently there was something that had shown up in the bay, like the bay was open of the space shuttle or something like that. They had a camera on it, and something happened, and they pulled the video feed completely down and whisked them away. And supposedly
When
asked
that,
him a bunch of
uh,
questions and
when
all
that
this stuff.
jellyfish popped up, they pulled the feed from any international people watching. That's not uncommon.
Yeah, because they see crazy stuff,
They
man.
do. And there was that guy that hacked into the NASA files or whatever, however many years ago from England, and he pulled up pictures of some kind of alien craft or whatever, some kind of unknown craft that didn't come from Earth, and documents talking about terrestrial and non-terrestrial pilots and all kinds of weird shit. They tried to extradite him, get him over here so they can give him jail time, and
Shut
England
him
wouldn't
up.
give him up. But McKinnon something, yeah, weird.
It's
weird
also,
stuff.
I think that something that's scary too is a lot of the politicians now are coming out of meetings saying what I saw.
I
is
can't talk about
I can't talk about it, and it
because
is
it rocked
life changing.
them.
It would, yeah.
And they don't want to tell their loved ones or even any random person because they don't think they can handle it.
Well,
That's so creepy.
I've
man.
also heard a lot of people like they're afraid to talk about it because if they do talk about it, something may show up in front of them.
Yeah. Really?
I've heard that.
like
Wow.
Like if you start
something not
talking
human.
about an entity to people that don't need to know,
That's
it will
how
show up.
these
Say,
CE5
"Are you
events
sure you
work
wanna
with
do this?"
Stephen Greer is they meditate
Yeah.
and
These
they say
bastards.
you put the idea in your head that you want to make contact, and then you make a mental map of where you are in the world and how to get there from outside space.
And they would come
and
visit.
Things start to materialize,
Yeah.
and they get pictures of it. And
They got
lightning was
in
one of
video
the things.
and light. Like what was the one? Like 20 or 30 people were all sitting there meditating together, and all of a sudden the lights come
Yeah.
across at them
Yeah.
at different heights and stuff, and we're moving around,
That's
and they
yep.
were trying to communicate with them or whatever.
And you've seen
and
the one they like flash a light at them, and then the UFO flashes a light back.
Yeah. Yeah, that was on shit. I think they talked about that a lot in the National Geographic thing too. There was
how we've communicated. Oh
no, the meditating and bringing them to you.
The other thing, how about that stuff that they found? What was it? There was something that, was it at a crash site or something? They found some material that there was no way that it was produced in America, or not America, on Earth. It was obviously produced, and it was something that was synthetic. It wasn't a natural. It was like something that had to be produced and mixed together to make
Sounds
this
like
stuff.
a crash retrieval site. Yeah, I've heard of a lot of people saying that like the same green comet thing that we were talking about earlier would come down and crash somewhere in the mountains, and they'd see black helicopters come in and carry something off. I don't think it's uncommon. I think
I love it.
the operations special analyst guy was saying that there's like 50,000. Like if he had to round up everything that they come across and how many times people come in contact with UAPs, he'd say 50,000 incidents every day across the world.
Jesus.
Well, and that's what a lot of these military pilots on the East Coast are coming out and saying now that it's okay to say something because they didn't want to lose their flight privileges because you start talking about shit like that and they'll pull your wings. And so now a bunch of them are coming out and talking. They're like, oh, yeah, we see shit every day, 2 or 3 times a day. It's common shit coming up out of the Atlantic and flying off or
we need
coming
to have
up and
on every
hovering
commercial
around and-
flight, on everything, cameras and like footage people can just tune into. That would be nice.
It's a great
'Cause
idea.
I guarantee we would catch some fucking weird shit.
I remember when planes used to go on their little screen. You could go to different cameras looking out
Yeah.
the nose on the Emirates plane. You could look out the nose, you could look out the bottom, or look out the tail.
We need that.
Yeah.
Because
So
there
you can
was
watch what you're
the
flying
most
over.
credible UAP footage that's out right now. There was this model that was on like some kind of small Cessna plane, and this UAP.
Oh
like,
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
zoomed by 'em.
And it
That
looks
was
like it's like
crazy.
changing
Oh,
shapes
yeah.
as
Yeah.
it's flying
Yeah.
across.
Yeah, I saw that
And
one.
then you're going like, wait a minute. What, that movie
Yeah.
Nope that just came out and was doing the same thing? It's like
Exactly.
That's what it
and then
reminded me
Steven
of.
Spielberg with Close Encounters and things, and it's like, what is being how much involvement does the CIA and these
Well-
300 agencies have in our media?
I love Close Encounters because
Yeah.
that was a movie I grew up on as a kid. But how realistic that is for 1977, and you're like, oh my
Somebody
god,
had he talked to
Yes.
somebody.
yeah, something was
Like-
going
Well, they said
on.
that. They said that that Spielberg had spoke with guys at the agency, the CIA and stuff that were, and they was like, look,
No, yeah, I don't doubt it at all.
Man.
Down to
It's good
how the
times.
beings looked.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. How they looked. All right, I got one more story I wanted to throw at you guys. And this is going to be a fucked up story. I'm sorry. We're getting the show on a fucked up story, but it has to do with music.
All right.
So this hardcore band named, they're out of Nashville. God damn it, what's their name?
Whitechapel.
I think the name. Shit, I don't see their name. I thought I saw it earlier. Oh, Lorana, Lorona. They're a hardcore band out of Nashville.
Okay.
Their singer took estrogen and started dosing their bass player with it. Secretly dosing their bass player with estrogen.
We've been doing that to Joe for years.
Nice tits, Joe.
Thank you.
no, that's yeah. You don't
That's
put
fucked up.
chemicals in somebody else's body without their
No,
permission.
man. I'll
That's
take anything you
fucked
throw at
MK
me.
Ultra
Just
shit.
tell me before.
Well, the
then,
reason
right?
the singer did it was because he fell in love with the bass player's fiance and wanted to steal the fiance away from the bass player.
Fucked up.
I thought you were gonna say he fell in love with the bass player.
What a psycho.
Fell in love with the bass player's fiance.
That's way more fucked up, even.
And started dosing the bass player with estrogen so that they would break up, and he could swoop
That's
in
a
and
future
take her and
serial
stuff.
killer or something, man.
That's
gotta give some
that's-
credit
How
to the
fucked up
planning
is
on
that?
That's a sociopath.
Yeah, I'm gonna come out against that. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I'll take a hard stance. on
Hashtag
that.
don't like.
Yeah, he's been doing this. It says he's been doing this for the past 5 months.
Ooh.
5 months.
Tampering with drinks and food and
Hey, you got your
forcing him
soda.
to
I know it's opened
transition.
already, but we're buds.
He was cutting pre-workout. I guess they were working out together, but he would take the pre-workout and put high amounts of estrogen in it.
Is the band still
So
together?
What
Oh,
Oh yeah, no, they got a new album coming out.
Yeah. They got rid of the
Called
bass player, kept the
estrogen.
Are
singer.
they
No.
opening up on Friday at 3 Links? Or no, that's next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, these guys were on what was it? Shit.
Is this Cool
Flavor
Jacket?
Town Fest?
So this isn't Cool Jacket.
No.
What?
No.
So what happened?
Basically he found out
Yeah.
and it turned into chaos.
How did he find out? I
was about to
wonder.
say,
He's
how did he
like,
find out exactly?
Video or
I'm
something, maybe?
incredibly emotional.
It seems like there's a lot of video
You
cameras
can
all
taste.
over
I
the
have
you can
place.
taste the
boobs
estrogen.
now.
Yeah, that'll
He started feeling weird and started going to the doctor and doing weird shit.
They
and
took his
was like, "What
blood
the
and started
hell?"
seeing
And
weird
did tests and we're
levels.
like, "Well, you got a lot. Are you trying to transition? What's going
He's
on?
like,
Do you have a
"Fuck
ton?"
you talk-
What the hell are you talking about?
Beat your fucking ass.
I mean, what the hell are you talking about? And found out that he had a bunch of estrogen in him and had been. They were like,
So
"These
then-
amounts are way too
So
high."
then he's like waiting, like,
What's
I
going
wonder
on?
If this is going on. I
So
wonder
then he
if that's
comes to
going
the
on.
band is like, have you guys
Have you
been-"
guys been-
Giving me
No,
estrogen?
not
He
us.
probably just started waiting.
Guys, I don't want to sound bitchy or anything, but have you guys
You're taking upon yourself to give me estrogen.
But he started testing all the pre-workout and pre-cut, and there's estrogen in it. He knew that the guy had been cutting it for him and everything, and
busted.
So
Fuck that
they
guy.
parted ways.
So he didn't press charges or anything?
I
Should.
think that's still going
Yeah.
on.
Wow.
I'm sure he is.
That's illegal, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta
Oh,
be.
very
The
much.
problem
so.
is-
You can't dope people.
The problem
without
is
their
the other
knowledge.
guy in the band probably has zero money, so there's not really anything that's going to happen.
You
Yeah,
don't have
it's gonna
money
be
for a
that.
lawyer. I
Yeah.
guarantee a lawyer would go pro bono because he's like,
Yeah,
oh, we
they're gonna
got
make it.
this. We're
Yeah.
gonna win this fucking
Yeah.
thing.
What a crazy ass story though. Like,
Yeah.
God, that's nuts.
so if one of y'all start growing breasts,
No.
or
Pretty flat chest.
you know
Y'all
what?
might- they might look
Will's
good with
not here.
breasts, though.
This will be a fun trick.
Yeah. Should have showed up, bro.
All right, so this weekend, first Friday, the album is released
Yep.
on all streaming platforms and outlets and everywhere.
That's right.
And then Saturday night at Boiled Owl, it's going to be a safe space. So everybody bring all your drugs,
Yeah.
like we
Cool.
talked about earlier.
Put them in my hat.
Yeah, but
Russian
y'all are
roulette.
playing with Cool Jacket.
Mhm.
Cool jacket.
And labels.
Who's Labels?
They're like a youngish punk band, like kind of old school hardcore punk.
What time does all this go down?
I
I
think it
think
starts at 8.
yeah,
What time y'all going on?
10:30. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it'd be like 8:30, 9:30, 10:30 for the bands.
Alrighty. And then 3 Links is next weekend. Next Friday?
the
Following
15th.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
let
that
me
Friday or
double check.
Saturday?
I think it's Friday. Pretty sure
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
It is
Yeah.
Friday? Okay. And then y'all are with...
Paint Trails and Aiden Trammell.
Nice.
Yeah.
Saw
Is it
Paint
Trammell
Trails.
or Trammell?
Trammell.
Is Trammell?
Yeah.
Paint Trails open for y'all at Tulips, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, for our video release.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. They're young,
Mhm.
young kids.
Young.
Yeah, they're in
Young
their
and hungry.
early 20s.
Getting going. And they were with Thyroids, right, that night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thyroids
Yeah.
were? And then what's the story with Rubber Gloves?
29th at Rubber Gloves.
It's Remy Riley, Primo Danger, and Rough Wizard.
Primo Danger. I
Yeah.
haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah,
Well, Sammy's living with them now.
I'm staying at the house that they practice in.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Awesome.
Nice dudes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be rad. That'll be fun.
Actually, booking them on the show predated Sammy and Will moving in with them.
Really?
Yeah, just happy coincidence.
What day's that on? Is that a Friday or Saturday?
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday also?
Yep.
I need a reason to come to Denton. That may be it. I need to come up there. The 29th.
We'll be glad to have you.
Yeah.
Okay.
My cousin works at the Rubber Gloves now too, so maybe she'll be there. But yeah, no. So I don't think I've been there since we played there last
Yeah,
time.
since we.
She was working there when we played there, right?
Yeah, she was.
yeah.
In fact, her band played when we were there.
I think so. They
Yeah.
did a tour. And
On the
I don't know if they're
they were
still
playing on the
doing stuff.
inside when
Where
we,
the
we played-
hardcore stuff was
yeah,
going?
and we
Yeah.
played on the
I didn't
outside.
know that.
What band is hers?
I
I'm asking all the hard questions now at the end of the show. Once we've had alien talk, our brains are wiped. I ask all the hard questions.
I can't remember it was a weird word that I don't know what it meant.
Not Lorena or
It started with a G.
Lorena, and they haven't
No.
been doping their bass player, have they?
No.
So, all right. So we're gonna be there. I'm excited, guys.
Hell yeah,
I'm glad.
us too.
Congratulations, Daydreamer. Yay.
Yeah,
Thank you
I'm
very
excited.
much.
I'm really happy about this record.
Are there gonna be physical copies?
Eventually, yeah. We're
We're
still
like
working
a
on all
Taking
that.
some like personal pre-orders / donations, and we'll have it out before we hit the road for tour.
Coke bottle green.
No, I think it's gonna
It'll
be
probably go
classic
double
black.
gatefold.
Yeah, black, no gatefold.
All right, and if y'all go to Vegas, we go to Vegas.
Hell yeah. Well, we're
So,
going to
well,
Vegas.
yeah, we
so
are
we'll
going.
just work
All
out
right.
the dates.
The
We just gotta
booker's
figure out the
booking
date.
it right now. I don't know the dates yet, but I'll let you know.
Okay, when you know, we'll go. I need to go to Vegas.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
Heck yeah. All right, well, we're out of here. See you guys this weekend.
All right.
Thanks.
Later. Bye. In the stream. Bye, guys. See you later. So long. Good night.
Same.
I do not know.